We are live from different parts of Southern California. This is Neon Space Wednesday.
Yeah. It's Wednesday afternoon, live from all over California. It's Wednesday.
Wednesday night if you're on the East Coast.
Okay, that's true. But we're still have the sun up, so I don't think it counts.
Yeah, the sun will set in like an hour though, so that's way early now.
Yeah, it's wild.
Daylight savings needs to go. I don't know who
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought we already voted to get rid of it. I don't understand
too.
why it's
what
still
happened?
here.
Yeah, I thought so too. I don't know. It was kind of weird to see it still.
I don't know why this year more than every other year it's bothered me. It's just like, the fuck, why is the sun setting so early now?
Yeah, it's setting at like 4.
I think it's also because I wake up so late. Like, I wake up pretty late, so it's like I don't get a lot of hours. If you wake up at like noon or 1, you're getting like 3 to 4 hours of sun a day. And then I think the reason it bothers me is because now I'm like exercising more, so I try to like go for a walk after we stream, and then by the time we're done streaming, it's already dark out. It's like a fucking
Yeah.
And it's getting kind of cold now, so it's like it's dark and cold. It's just a bummer.
Yeah, agreed. It is a bummer. My ETH hasn't broken out like I want it to. I think I'm still in the red. Still waiting for it to pump back up. Might have to add to it again.
I am too, but I also
just let it sit for now.
I'm only at 2x leverage, so I'm like I got plenty of time to.
Yeah, I think I'm at 3x, but
you can drop to like 2100 before I get liquidated. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna go up before it goes down there.
Yeah, I have a stop set at 2970. So if it drops much below 3000, I'm gonna take my loss and try again.
I'm just gonna let it ride. I feel like
let it ride. Yeah, it'll come back. Like it's not gonna drop to 2000. So
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Let's see.
It might take a while. It might be choppy, but I'm not in a rush. Like, just let it do its thing.
It's not crazy expensive either to keep open. Whatever. I might average down and add more to it. I think 3000 is a pretty good like range to like jump more. Especially considering the daily chart is starting to like cool off on its RSI. The band is coming up for a nice bounce. Let's see how the weekly looks. Ooh, closing over the weekly, lovely. And then the weekly support is right at 3,000. So like my stop is right below that at 2970. So I'm cool with this. No big deal. Let's see. Lots of, oh wow, 597% APR on WaxDAO liquidity. I've had this token since launch, so it's not like a one I'm aping into, but it's nice to see the APR much higher than it used to be. That might also be because it's Wednesday right now and most people probably haven't like transferred over yet. Let's see if that's the case. Oh yeah, that's almost definitely the case. I own like 38% of the pool with only 400 liquid stake wax. I have rotated a bit of my Wax USDC over just to the LS Wax LSW pool just to have more. Like I think I got it up to 50,000 now. I wonder if that puts me in league with you. Let's see. Positions.
I'm not even in that pool anymore.
Oh, no?
100% of my wax ended up in one side.
Oh, yeah. You don't rebalance it? Or
I was going to, but I had to. I have such a large stake that I have to unstake and it takes 3 days.
Oh, I see.
Like, because if I would have traded, I would have lost like 300 wax or something in slippage. And I was like, I'd rather just wait 3 days. But then I left town before it finished unstaking, so now I'm just in limbo.
Oh, yeah. You could also try it with like a limit order. Like if you set a limit sell, generally it won't fill all at once, but over the course of like 12 to 20 hours or something, it'll probably all fill.
I'll just do it when I get back. I don't know.
Well, that helps me. If you're taking 50,000 out of there, that's great for me. Damn, this is taking forever to show me what the other positions are, though. It's definitely been a pretty solid pool, though. I'm also slowly almost entirely on one side now. I'm like very heavy on the LSW side instead of LS-WAX, which is kind of what I expected. How's it going? Buzz King. I see Hussein Muhammad. Welcome, welcome. Trying to eyeball some.
I honestly haven't really been paying attention to wax price, but obviously Bitcoin's still doing pretty good.
Yeah, Bitcoin's leading the charge still. I think that's also, we'll probably see Bitcoin. I mean, you know, we've been watching this for fucking ever, but if we go to the weekly chart, we have the cup and handle pattern from Bitcoin. So we have our target. I think we're going to climb to this target and then start to like flatline. And once it starts flatlining a little bit here, I imagine that distributes some money into the altcoin markets again. You know, alt season, as they say. But definitely Bitcoin is leading the charge big time. I mean, look at that all-time high compared to like Ethereum's not even back to its all-time high yet. And if you look at like how much volume there is as far as fees generated by the network, you know, like people paying gas on Bitcoin versus on Ethereum, it's way more on Ethereum, like 3 or 4 times as much. And gas fees on Bitcoin just go straight to not block producers, but miners, which is basically block producers in a proof of work network. But on ETH, a pretty sizable portion of the fees paid for gas is burned. And so with the amount of volume in fees being paid currently on ETH, ETH is deflationary, currently deflationary, which is great.
That, a lot of that stuff, like short term doesn't affect price, but long term it does.
Yeah, exactly. Long term, it like creates this like, you know, pressure that eventually breaks up. Also, we're still like, it's funny to see that only the wick of the last week's candle made it over my trend line here. The green line I've been tracking since we started the bull run. And like, we did get a breakout above it. And look what happens when that happens. It shoots. And then, you know, once we fell below it again, now it's like we're trying to recapture it. And I think once we can recapture that, it'll do another one of these. Boom, boom, boom. Like month worth of just big green candles. That'll push us to our new all-time high. Probably not until Bitcoin gets a little bit more calm, because Bitcoin is in the middle of doing that right now. Beautiful.
Bitcoin going zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah, 94,000. Let's go. And look at that. Our like trading analysis on this is fucking spot on. Like bull market starts here, called it out around here where we flipped. Big target decided by the cup and handle pattern, watching where the handle breaks out. Here we got the breakout with that pullback bouncing on that weekly, which is exactly what we wanted, and bouncing also on our trading buddy strength band, and then starting the push up, like literally textbook cup and handle breakout. And we've been talking about that for like a year. So it's nice to see that. Also, of course, everyone else is like, oh, it's, you know, Trump election and all that. It's just like, dude, we've been talking about this for years. Like it's been in the stars, so to speak. But doesn't seem to be hurting the whole election hype and all that kind of like additional attention. So I won't discredit it entirely, I suppose. Although generally I follow the news more than I follow the chart more than the news always. So
if you want to be really technical, this is all still happening under Joe Biden because the presidency
exactly. Yeah. Right. Everyone's already given him so much credit for everything that's happened in the last few weeks. It's just like it's still Joe Biden's turn. Like, whatever.
I don't think the who's president affects.
It does not.
Bitcoin nearly as much as people like to think it does, but
no, it's more about the chart. That's why we read the chart. That's why we follow the chart trend. That's why we're not like surprised by any of this shit.
People also just, I don't know, I think it's human to want an explanation for stuff.
Yeah. And it's easy. Yeah, I was going to say it's easy to understand the fucking explanation.
I don't know, like, I don't know that there is always a reason for stuff, because people always be like that too. If like a token pumps, they're like, what news caused us to pump? Like, what did they tweet to do this? It's like, I don't know that tweets are affecting the market in the way that you think they are.
Yeah, especially back in the bull run, like leading up to like 2020 or around 2020, like after 2020 to 2021, there's a lot of like oh, Elon is tweeting about Dogecoin, and that's like what's made, and it's just like Dogecoin is just in a fucking like bull run. He just happens to also be tweeting about it. Like, quit giving him credit for making it pump. It's pumping because it's a fucking bull market. Like, it would pump with or without his tweets. But
you get how people on Wax like because in a smaller ecosystem,
it makes more difference in smaller tokens.
Because like if Our Planet announced a collection would be in their game, it absolutely would pump because of that news and not just because of randomness and charts and TA and stuff. So like,
that's for sure.
I feel like when you came from this world, and if you learn crypto through NFT trading, like NFT trading, I do think is a little different. It's a different beast than.
Yeah, I do too. It's also that one actually is a lot more heavily influenced by news and by like those types of events where it's like, oh, you know, a new reward thing, or even like a reward campaign of like, oh, they're giving away $10,000 to like the winner of something. It's like that actually does pump those markets. It's because those markets are crazy and mature and very, very small.
They can also dump for no reason too, though. Like for no news, if a whale just decides to sell, and people are like, what did they do to screw up like the price and all this stuff? It's like the person who bought 60% of it decided to sell. Like that's what happened. Not that, and not even necessarily for a specific reason other than they wanted to move their money elsewhere.
Yep. But that's not so satisfying as like, here's like black and white reasons, like exactly this, exactly that. It's just like, nah. It's unfortunately not that straightforward. Would be nice if it was, but
I think it'd be a lot easier to predict if you could predict based on tweets and company moves.
Yeah, right. I will say though that understanding the especially in Wax space, like understanding the meta of like, you know, NFT gaming definitely gives you a massive edge. Like I'd say like you did really well in games like NFL Rivals because you're like familiar with NFT gaming meta more so than you like with chart reading or something.
Or just gaming meta in general. Like
exactly.
Understanding what has value in a game is generally what has value in the NFTs. Like if I need a card or want that card, it's like other people are going to want and need that card. And also like you have to, the longer you're around like an ecosystem, the more you know. Because like, I don't know, if you just join NFL Rivals and you see like a mythical kicker and a mythical quarterback, and you're like, which one? It's like quarterback's way more important. It's like, yeah, but they have never released a mythical kicker. They've only released one legendary, 25 legendary quarterbacks, and all that other stuff. So like, I've been in the game long enough to know what to choose and what's going to hold value. Hopefully, I'm not always right, but I've also been lucky a few times. Like,
yeah, luck definitely plays into all this.
One of the best moves I did was got Devon Witherspoon from the Seahawks. I just really wanted the Seahawks rookie, and it looked like the other two quarterbacks, the rookies get upgraded. The other two quarterbacks had been upgraded based on their in-game performance, so it looked like he was the worst of the three. So his price dropped, and then I bought him. And then the next week he got like an interception, and a week after that I got an interception. Then his stats went way up, and then he ended up getting like the all-rookie team. But it's like I didn't necessarily know that was going to happen, but it did increase the value of the card by about 10x. So like, I came up hard just based on luck there. And I think luck plays a huge part in NFTs. That is why, like, I don't know, as much as you want to invest, unless you're the developer of the game, you have no idea what direction they're going to take things or like devalue your shit. Because Rivals could also release a new set that has twice the power of my current set and make everything I bought last week worth almost nothing. And that's not like under no control of mine, or amount of prediction and understanding the stats can change them wanting to be greedy. And that's what's hurt a lot of people that have quote unquote invested in games, and why I don't think investing in games is really like a smart thing to do in general.
Right. Yeah.
You can gamble on games. Gambling is fun, but considering an investment, I think you're fooling yourself.
I agree with that too.
And I love gambling on games. I did way too much of it. It took me too long to realize I was gambling on games when I thought I was reinvesting the gamble winnings that I'd made on Our Planet and Alien Worlds and stuff. And if I had the mindset now, I definitely would have cashed out more. But learning experience, and that's also why I've done way better on Rivals than, like, I don't know. I've pulled several $1,000s out of Rivals. Has paid my rent at least twice in the last year, which is pretty good for a mobile game. But like, yeah, it's because I'm pulling money out, not putting money back into it, expecting to get more.
Yeah, for real. Let's see. Ooh, Mutt Cuts is back to what I basically paid for it, or a little higher than that, actually. So I could sell I'm still holding that one. I'd like nonsense token on Solana.
I got some of that too. Isn't it like the van from Dumb and Dumber?
It totally is, yeah. The weekly chart on that one looks fucking awesome.
How is what's his face's butt doing?
Which one?
Mike Tyson's ass or whatever that.
Oh, let's see.
That was probably the coolest thing that happened. Well, I guess we can talk about that tomorrow. But Tyson's TYSON.
Oh, right.
Probably coolest thing from that entire thing was his butt, which was funny. I don't know what the
dick with butt. That's awesome. 4 million market cap.
I posted it in. I think it was posted in Atomic Kings.
Mike Tyson's butt. I can't find it.
It's called Mike Ass.
Mike Ass.
2 words.
Hey-oh. There it is. Oh, nice little. There's multiple versions of it.
Market cap's down to 24K. It was at 1.9 million when someone screenshotted it.
Let's see how it's.
The amount of money that goes in and out. That is insane.
Let's. We'll have to look at this on like a 15-minute chart. Yeah, there it is. During the fight, it looks like it went up. What is that? Like in 1,000,000%? Actually, not even that crazy. 35x or something. And then immediately tanked back down. But good Lord. That's the cycle of a meme coin right there on Solana. Or, well, let's say most meme coins. So it looks like you had, this is the 15-minute chart. So we had about an hour of up action. And then anything after that first hour, you were the exit liquidity.
Someone made a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
But did we get raided? Thank you for the raid. We don't have our notifications on if we did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're looking at Mike Ass right now. Mike Tyson's butt coin. We saw it got launched during the Mike Tyson. Who's that other guy? That like Joker dude?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Doing the guy who just beats up old and retired people or people who don't actually box, and then thinks he's like a hot shit boxer. But yeah, pretty funny. Here's the picture. So this was like after the fight, I guess. Mike Tyson.
I think that might have been was kind of hanging out. I think it was like during the warm up interviews.
Oh, okay. I saw it after the fight too.
Away, and as he was walking away, the camera just stayed on and it just shot his ass.
Yeah, here it is. For anyone who missed it,
which
pretty good.
That was probably the best part of his
pretty good
fight. I think the opening fights were good though. I don't know. It's kind of sad that like the top build fight that had the most viewership was by far the worst fight on the bill, and people, like myself included, kind of didn't totally shoot into the earlier fights. It's like, oh, those were actually like, people that have been training way longer that are much better boxers than not fighting old men. Like
it was like a real fight. That first one too, the lightweight guys, they just like beat the living fuck out of each other. Like that was insane.
The women's fight was crazy too, and they're both those women are like champions basically. Like that was like a much better fight, and it was really close. Like I don't know, but kind of sad that somebody was saying that's like I don't know if allegory is the right word, but that's like what happens in the crypto space too. Like the shit stuff gets all the attention, and then the people that are actually like working hard and building cool shit like get left behind and less viewership and less support.
That's actually a pretty fun allegory. Actually, I'd be behind that. Here I'm looking at Mutt Cuts now. This is a stupid under the radar nonsense. Absolutely don't necessarily get involved with this at all. I mean, you can see no trades at all in the last 24 hours. But it doesn't stop me from buying stupid shit. So this is what based on like the the car from Dumb and Dumber.
The Shaggin' Wagon, I think they call it.
It's too stupid. The Mutt Cuts is the name of his business, where he like turns his car into that. It's nonsense. I mean, it's all nonsense. But 1 billion total supply with quarter of that or almost 30% of that in the liquidity pool. I'm not hating on it. I mean, I also am biased as shit. Obviously, I own like 3% of the supply already. Like I bought it around here during that spike. I think this spike is probably me and Sid and Lewis buying.
Like, around this spike that I caused.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the spike where I entered, and then since then it's kind of just trekking up. I'm basically at a slight profit over the average buy price, which is averaged by this massive spike. But you can also see it is,
it's pretty much
it has like a $27,000 market cap. So so you put like $1,000 into this, the price like triples. So I don't know. We'll see. It's dumb. Don't buy it. It's a stupid meme coin. But I like it better than a lot of the, like, if I look at Deck Screener's like list of stupid shit, they have a lot of like let's see what kind of dumb shit's going on here. There's so many like weird Trump ones lately that I'm like not a big fan of. Like here, Trump Shuffle with his weird dance. I mean,
I remember there's some like weird like white supremacist shit popping up too. Just like,
there's a lot. There's a lot of like crazy like racist shit, or like super like celebrating intolerance.
They're like, how are you gonna like? I think one coin was just like the N-word. Someone's like, how are you gonna fucking report to your accountant that you made money with the N-word token? Like,
yeah,
look like a fucking insane person.
This is fine. That's kind of a cool. I like that meme, but I don't know that I would invest into a meme coin that's already worth $6 million in its market cap. Although it's up 6,000% in 24 hours. So if I had bought this shit, I might have been happy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a slot machine.
It's a slot machine. Yeah, it's nonsense. So I'm gonna roll the dice on fucking mutt cuts then. Leave me alone. But let's see. I want to see some of these. Chill guy, just a chill guy. There's also chill mom, I think. Yeah, here, just a chill mother.
So the funny thing about meme coins is they're all like derivative of each other. Like,
yeah,
rarely are they even original.
They don't love you like I love. Oh wait, that's funny. That's like a reference to that song, isn't it?
Maps, right?
Yeah, Maps, right?
They don't love you like I love you, Maps.
Yeah, that's fun. I don't know. Stupid. Is it worth $26 million in market cap? I don't know. Probably not.
As we saw at the Mike Ass token, it went from what was that like? On the screenshot I was looking at it, 1.9 million market cap, and now it's down to 24,000.
24,000.
The money can leave pretty quick as it goes in. So
oh yeah,
I don't know that
quicker even. Chill girl. I'm just a girl. The Trump Shuffle.
I'm just a girl. Is that a
I'm just a girl. It's
No Doubt reference.
I don't think so. Not based on this. Let's see. Yeah.
Isn't that a No Doubt song with Gwen Stefani?
Yeah. I'm just a girl. Oh, I'm a girl? Yes. Okay. Right now I am for the oh shit. Audio, but it is playing that song.
In a World, yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah.
I called it.
Okay.
So I guess that's the new trend on the new trend on Solana is to take lyrics from songs from the like late 90s, early 2000s, and then
they don't love you like I love you.
That's the target demographic age. Like if you put too young of song lyrics, people probably like us old millennials won't buy into that stupid shit. But we will buy into stupid shit that's nostalgic for us.
Hey, at least the stupid one that I bought has a market cap of $24,000, and that's what I feel like the meme is worth, not 26 million.
I don't even think it's worth 26.
I don't think it's worth. Honestly, it's not worth anything. Gen Z Quant. I don't even know what that is. This is fine. There's another version of it here. TikTok official coin. Someone's trying to be full of shit here.
I honestly just avoid memes for the most part.
Me too. It is fun to see like what kind of stupid shit people come up with. Honestly, feel like my FTW meme coin is a more solid meme name than most of this dumb shit, but that's pretty much all it's got going for it too. It's just a dumb shit nonsense token. So again, don't buy it. I
don't hate Woof though.
Woof is pretty fun. It also has like the whole cross chain thing is actually like value.
Yeah, that's why I feel like calling it a meme coin is almost like not accurate, but
it's like a bridge token, like a bridge utility token even. And it has like there's arbitrage between the different blockchains that most of these currencies aren't ever going to have.
I do think Wax needs to get shit together though. A bridge token to Wax is only as good as what you're launching on Wax, so we need some reason for people to want a bridge over here. I definitely almost have exclusively used it to bridge off of Wax, which I don't think
Yeah.
is the best use of like if you're trying to attract people to Wax by having a meme token, it's like you're doing the opposite. Like I'm moving my money over to Base, I'm moving my money over to Solana to buy mutt cuts and other stupid shit. But yeah, I haven't used that bridge to move money into Wax, so kind of doing the opposite effect of what I think they were hoping was going to happen. At least for me and people I've talked to in our community or like interested in Base and stuff, because
Yeah.
there's just so many more opportunities popping up. Whereas like I don't know, like we now know it's not that there isn't serial scammers on other chains, but that one guy rugged that game token that had like the crazy APY. So now it's like, or APR, it's like, I don't really trust jumping into any new tokens on Wax because people have a history on Wax of doing things serially like 3 or 4 times before people catch it. So like,
Yeah.
I would guess that guy's going to do the exact same thing again and like pump the rewards in a pool, hoping people jump in and then steal all the money again. So we also know he's capable of like developing a simple game, or at least like having the outline of a game and like good enough that people trusted him. So
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we see them again because very rarely do people just steal money once then fuck off on Wax.
Definitely. Just waiting for a new crop of people to fool.
That's the whole like
Hopefully we'll be around to like call it out when it happens.
Anonymity. I don't know how you say that word.
Yeah,
If you're
anonymity.
anonymous, it's easy to steal money from people, which is like I don't know. A lot of people are like, that's the whole part of crypto. Like you shouldn't have to dox yourself or anything. And I've always been like, what do you have to hide? Also, like, are you not running a company legally? Like, I kind of want to invest in people who are paying taxes and running above board code shit. Because like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you might get shut down for doing a bunch of illegal shit, even like if somebody does trace it your identity. I don't know. Trying to I guess Max's thing is always like if it's open source, it's okay. But in general, like especially if it comes to gaming and like things that are
Yeah.
centralized, like I kind of want to know who you are and like be able to look up that you have the credentials, especially after getting screwed so many times on Wax, where like people are like, I'm developing a game, and it's like I've never developed a game before, and I'm gonna quit like the second that it doesn't really
Yeah.
work, and I've
The
already
second
taken
that
all
it
the money.
gets shitty, yeah. Or I can't make money doing something where all I've done so far is promise to deliver shit that I haven't delivered yet.
Whereas someone like Mythical now, Mythical's successfully published 3 NFT games. So if they launch a 4th one, yeah, I might take a swing at it because I've had a good time. Although Blankos was pretty much a failure by any. The thing I'll say about
Yeah,
that though is they're relaunching as a mobile game. Like if that was a Wax game, Blankos would be dead and all those
that's
NFTs would be
true.
useless. They're like going well out of their way to. But they could have just ditched it and been like, sorry, like that didn't work out. We're not paying for the servers. But they're creating an entire new mobile game around all the NFTs you bought from the other one, which is like what Wax projects promise and never do. They're like, yeah, we're gonna like figure out a way to fix all this shit, and then they never do, and they bail. But Mythical's actually
Yeah.
following through with it. But I will say, like, Mythical is definitely not like without failure.
They
It's
definitely
sad
have
too.
they have a hard time I think with liquidity because they only have like one centralized exchange that all their apps pay out through, which is Uphold, which works all right for US people, but not for
I
everybody.
thought they were on another one too. Like they're on a few exchanges, but that's not that you can withdraw to.
Yeah, that's the big
Because
problem, I
I
think.
think they're on like Mexi or they're on a couple other ones. Because that's also why the token price dropped, is because to get listed on exchanges, they did a huge airdrop to people on those exchanges, and then everybody just sold it all. That's how it dropped from $1 in the first place. Is like the listing fee basically to get listed at a bunch of places. So they are available on several centralized exchanges, but for whatever reason, you cannot withdraw to those centralized exchanges through the Mythical
Yeah.
marketplace, which is if you're doing the NFT shit, the only way you can cash out. So
I
hopefully they
love
fix
this.
that.
I love this dog growing hair.
Is that AI?
I think so. But yeah, that's pretty like I don't know. I'm not gonna buy it, but this is fun.
I feel like we should look
Yeah,
at
we
like
should.
real markets and stop looking at meme coins.
Okay. It's too much fun to just get lost in dumb
We should
shit.
also do a giveaway. We've been going for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's just a time lapse of the actual hair growth actually.
Do you want to do a grubfish?
Yeah, let me pull that up. Let's see. I think I still have the link from earlier.
Yeah, I've been kind of out of the loop on Wax stuff. I guess if anybody in the chat wants us to look at new Wax projects and think stuff's cool, but it's been a while since anything's launched. think Meta Battler is the last thing that launched. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I think
I've also kind of fallen off of that though. I haven't been playing Meta Battler lately.
Twitch.
I know people like Twitchy Tides too, but I'm still a grub boy. I'm still a critter guy.
I'm still critter crafting.
Critter craft till I die. Oh, I think Sammy released a new update to Nova Rally.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Be down to try that, but that's not really Wax anymore. Like there's zero link to the blockchain. But I don't know. It's still.
I hope someday I can use my emotes that I bought several packs of.
Oh, I guess we didn't cover. Olive Land had an update where you can now trade.
Oh.
You can trade your trees. Let me see. Let me read it. People are upset about it, which somewhat rightfully so, but also, I don't know, the fact that they're still doing anything is cooler than them.
Yeah, it's more than most projects from the time that launched are non-existent anymore.
So Eric said, looking for this is Eric Yo, in our trading channel, if anybody's interested in our Discord. He said, looking for olive land trees. There's a new trade coming up regardless of rarity, and I want to complete 50 more to trade in for one tree. I don't have much to offer anymore since I sold everything. If you see something in my wallet and like to trade, except for my Neon Space stuff, send the request, or I can simply take it off your hands. But I believe you can trade 50 of the trees, like the tree cards, and you get ownership of the actual physical tree. And I'll have to maybe let me go to their Twitter. I don't want to say stuff that's not true. But I don't know if it's like you get a profit share of the olives it produces, or maybe you can claim the olives it produces. But again, let me go to the website so I'm not just like saying stuff.
That sounds interesting.
Let's see.
Olive Garden, new token coming out, Family Coin from Olive Garden.
Last thing they posted on Twitter says, yes, the patience and labor of 2 years has begun to bear fruit. We're making our first fruit harvest at Olive Land this season. The quality of our oil is magnificent as we expected. We'd like to thank all of our investors who've been patiently waiting throughout the year, investing in the first RWA farm in crypto world. Yes, we did it all together. That doesn't really explain how the trading goes. I'm not in their Discord. Maybe that's where it happened. But I guess just heads up, if you've been holding Olive Land stuff forever, there's now a use case for it that has to do with the real life olive farm they built and is now bearing fruit. So it's like they didn't just take your money and run. They made a fucking olive farm like they said they're going to. And I will say, they didn't make the game. The game fucked up. The whole like digging for NFTs that's supposed to be like Alien Worlds, that shit never happened, and they definitely fucked up there. So it's not like
it
worked perfectly.
It's not like they're all. It's all praise here, but
the fact that you can do anything where like I don't know, what are you gonna do with your fucking Farmer's World or your like other Rug Bolt game stuff? Like
right. I think a lot of the stuff that's in there, like giveaway wallet too, is at this point also just not worth anything.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, something came to fruition. That's I mean, maybe not exactly how people were envisioning it when the hype was, at peak, but that's also the meta of like these markets, It's like the hype is usually worth more than the reality of something. Half of the time, you're better off not releasing something because the hype or the impression of what might come is going to be worth more than what actually comes out. Like once you actually release something, people are like, "Oh, that's what it is." Okay, like now we can price it appropriately.
Sammy to talk about it at some point, but like the thing about 50 trees for. Like, I don't know what you get for that. I just know I heard people talking about it, but I left their Discord a long time ago because like they went a year without posting anything. Yeah. Well, maybe somebody's talking about it in the Nova Rally Discord, but they didn't really mention the specifics on Twitter or their website. So this must be like maybe Sammy mentioned it on a stream. I don't know exactly where the information came from.
50 for one. So they're kind of like trying to consolidate how many trees they sold in the first place, huh?
It says to get together with the actual tree count. Do you know what you get for it though, Quadrell? Do you get olives or do you get profit from the selling of the
oil?
Olives? Yeah, I guess olive oil would be the thing.
I'd be into some olive oil. I remember there was one that was like sort of like this, where it was like with beekeeping, and then you could get like raw honey. When the like beekeeping harvest came in, you redeem your NFT for honey.
Okay, so he said you get one new NFT and then share of the profits from the new NFT. And the thing that upset people is that the rarities don't matter. So some people went way out of their way to get legendaries and epics, and like you paid a lot more money, assuming they would be more effective in the game. The game never came out, and now your epic is worth just as much as a common for the blend to
that
50.
is kind of, yeah, I would be upset, I guess, too. I feel like if I chased the thing, but then it's also like, did I chase it based on something that was said, or did I chase it based on what I imagined would happen?
I'm pretty sure the white paper said that higher rarity things would allow you more digs.
Also, that is generally how it works, even if it doesn't say that. So you wouldn't be crazy to assume that without, direct quoted white paper stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is the best thing that's ever happened, but more of I was thinking of, if we're covering Wax News on Wax Wednesday, this is News and Wax, and a lot of people in our community might have collected those trees, and if you don't have 50 and don't want to buy more, now might be a time to sell them, I guess is the
I guess news. That's fair too. Yeah, so that's kind of what Cadrell's at. He says he was a big fan of the project up until this move, and now he doesn't actually have enough trees to get, even one of the things. So it's basically buy more trees to continue, or, see ya. Which sucks.
Is what it is, but I guess they're doing something, so.
Yeah, something's not nothing, so that's better than nothing. And at least there may be people out there looking to buy trees now. Like Eric is looking for trades, Quadrell. If you see something in his wallet that maybe is in a different collection that you're more interested in, you could probably find some traders to swap your stuff for. Although again, if you were chasing legendary shit for like top market value, that sucks. Like, yeah, they kind of
their big mistake was thinking they could make a game. Like, they should have just from the beginning been like, hey, this will.
That was our whole thing when everybody was making games. We were just like, oh, it'd be really cool to make a game, but we just can't deliver that in a way that we would want to play the fucking game. So we just can't promise we can do that. Although, fuck, I would have loved to make a game. And then when we were thinking about making something like, like, I don't know, Guitar Hero-ish, like a rhythm game where you just like, something super easy. But even that, we don't fucking know how to do it, and do it well enough to like promise it is a mistake. I mean, over promising has been an issue for even like the current like PFP projects too. It's like we should in the future, I feel like, work on what we want to work on and announce it when it's ready versus pigeonholing ourselves into stuff. But we'll get it. We'll fucking follow through.
Like what they should have done is have like fractional shares. Like you shouldn't have to be able to own one tree to the point where like hardly anybody, if we're being real, has 50 trees. So like forcing people to either sell out when they just wanted to support the olive stuff and have ownership share of it. It's like,
that's true. Why not one tree equals 1/50th share of the tree versus like you have to have 50 trees to make any like share of anything. But
I think that's kind of a mess up as far as like it sucks for the people who supported you are now also getting shafted again. It's like the people that held this entire time. It's like, oh, you didn't buy enough, which 50 trees was a fucking lot to buy back then. Like, then now you have to, because that definitely grinds my gears when it's like supporting your project means, oh, you have to spend more money on this to get what we promised you originally, which is what they're doing. So I'm not a fan of that for sure. Like, they'll be like, oh yeah, like thanks for all the support back then, but now you need to buy 3 more things to get the thing we originally told you. It's like, I already bought the thing for what you sold me originally, and you never.
I think Monosueta's got a point too, because we all work in like stuff that's relatively adjacent to video game design and game making. We're more aware of how impossible that shit is without assloads of money. Like, I mean, you can make a game, it's just not going to be good. Like, full stop. Even if you like, honestly, even if you have experience making games, they're not necessarily good games. Like, the amount of games that actually like stand the test of time, and by the test of time I mean like have a player base after 5 months of after launch, is like less than 10% of the games that come out.
That game that I was kind of into for a bit, the Spectre Divide, where you play 2 agents. It's like Valorant and Counter-Strike, but you play 2 people. It's fallen to under 1,000 daily players, and that's like
it hasn't even been 6 months.
Was developed for like multiple years, but was helped develop and promoted by like a streamer with hundreds of thousands of followers that watch him, and like couldn't get people on board. Or like Dead Drop, which was developed by the Call of Duty people and promoted by the the now canceled dude, but fucking
Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, Dr. Disrespect to like millions of people. He gets millions of views on his stream. That game you couldn't. There's like no more than 30 people playing at any time. Like it's completely dead. So like all the right things were there. Right promoter, team that had worked on Halo and Call of Duty series,
AAA
like
titles, big successful stuff.
A fucking stinker that nobody wanted to play. Like
on paper, it all looks like great, but then the reality of game design is that it just isn't. Like there's very few sure things. Like I think GTA 6 is a pretty sure thing, but
based on
beyond that, I don't fucking know. You know.
You should launch this.
Let's do this.
Somebody asked us if we'd been looking at Bitcoin. Yes, and we will be looking at Bitcoin after this, Mr. Willie.
Let's do a Grubfish Rail first here. So, good luck. We're gonna go for $1 million woof here on this first one. Oh.
Yeah, Inadequate Master, if you have 9 trees, you are fucked in the sense that you cannot get profit share, but you are not fucked in the sense that those 9 trees that would probably have sold for nothing 3 weeks ago.
They might sell
probably selling for a little
slightly more than nothing. Yeah.
I don't know what they're selling for, if I'm being honest. I haven't checked, but don't shoot the messenger. We're just delivering news.
Or you need 49 more to not be fucked. You need 41 more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily applauding what they're doing. Although I will applaud them for not giving up and actually producing something, because that's more than people who even try to develop games. And like, I don't know, there's something tangible that you can get that exists from the investment, and it didn't just go to somebody's sports gambling addiction. Shout out Wax Arena.
I agree with what Codrell says too, where he's saying that they said they want to put the amount down to get rid of inactive wallets, but inactive people are still supporters. Like I would personally, for like Neon Space, I don't think I would ever enact something that's like, oh, it only benefits active users. It has to benefit holders.
Yeah,
I don't care how active
spend money on it. Like you should. The deal wasn't you have to spend money and then also check Discord every 3 months. Like that was never part of the original deal. The original deal is that if you support us, you get whatever we're offering to our supporters.
Congrats. Let me add you.
I also agreed with Codrell where like he was saying, instead of making people buy more shit, just do like make a claim button. Like
exactly.
You get this X amount of wax per tree you have, and you can even do the any rarity shit if you don't want to deal with that, which is kind of sucky to begin with. But even then, it's like you have 50 trees. That's like each one is 1/50th of a share of 1% of whatever pool or whatever the math turns out to be, and you can click claim and then have a claim window. If people don't claim it in whatever X amount of months, then there you go. All your dead wallets are no longer
exactly
sucking the thing, and then you're not fucking over the people that did support you that are active. But
exactly, I kind of agree with that too. Oh, where the fuck did I get 1,000 wax from in this wallet?
That also you got to build that compared to like bounty block. So like I guess I understand from the if you don't have the technical.
Oh, my lands are still selling. That's where I got 1,000 wax from. Yay! See, I mean, I had this shit listed forever. So
I don't know. Is what it is. Again, that's the only news I've heard in wax that's somewhat relevant to anything I've been interested in a while. So I was like,
the only one that I feel like I'm kind of interested in is that Loot Momos have a tower going on with oh man, wow, I'm blanking on the name of the Meta Battler in Meta Battler, and that's like a free to play thing.
I also have not looked into. I think you need to hold one of their NFTs, but I don't know if it's any NFT or specific NFT. But we were also given NFTs to give away that give you access to the tower. So
nice. Okay, yeah, we'll do a giveaway for that. I'm
not sure that we can show on stream, depending on the not safe for work.
I see. All right. Well, I'll start up a CreatorCraft in the background. So if you want to do !neon to join the next giveaway, which I guess for now is going to be for $1 million woof as well. I'm going to take a look now at the Bitcoin market, though. It's like you were asking a second ago.
Mask saying, worth more, only good for an exit, I guess. Honestly, that's in crypto. That's a better in NFTs. That's a better situation than like a rug pull where nobody will ever buy your shit. Like. Even just getting a little bit of extra liquidity, even if it's less than you were originally imagining, like getting something from it, I think I'd still consider that a win, even though a small win. Even if the war is a loss, you get a small battle win. And there's so many projects I bought into on wax where I will never be able to sell stuff for anything. So like getting anything back is just like a little nice from something that a lot of people probably assumed was a dead project because
Yeah, there you go. So
I
if
left
you
their
assumed it was
Discord
just
and
dead, this
stuff
is actually good news, despite the fact that it is kind of frustrating to see the rarity being completely disregarded and
and having to own 50. I think
yeah,
I
by
think it
extension
was
kind of the
a good
community.
idea with poor execution. I'll say that.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
exactly.
like the way they executed it, but like I am happy that they are still trying to give back to the people that supported them,
Hmm.
and they built something real and are now sharing profits with people that hold the NFTs. That's way bigger than like what most projects on Wax have ever done. So
Yeah.
like that's cool. The way they did it leaves some to be desired.
Yeah, exactly. But pretty damn good. Here we go. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart though, and look at this. We've been following the Bitcoin trend here for, years at this point on our stream. We check in once every week. And so let's check the weekly chart as we do. And you can see we've been watching what is called the cup and handle breakout. So here, this big old rounded trend would be our cup. This is the handle. And when we've broken out here, we've been kind of talking about that for at least a year and a half at this point, that we're like, hey, this looks like a cup and handle patterns forming. We definitely were talking about it since like, what was this? April or so, 2024. So like since April of last year, that we've been kind of in this handle, and that we're looking for that handle to basically, give us a breakout to then launch us into the next phase of the bull market, which is totally what's happening. So basically, the looking at a cup and handle pattern in technical analysis terms, you want to see the cup, yoink, this cup, and the handle. The measurement from the bottom of the cup to the top of where the cup would be. So we're looking at like basically the top of that wick here, being kind of the top of our cup. This long line here becomes the breakout target. So we've basically duplicated this line and moved it over here, which I won't do there, so we can kind of see them both. But that's how we're going to kind of like find a target for our bull market to kind of like run up to, especially in lieu of having resistance levels anymore. Now that we're reaching new all-time high prices, there is no historical price information that's going to suggest where resistance might exist. So we're now in like price discovery mode, and therefore having a nice little technical analysis guide to show us where our price discovery might run out of steam is kind of a solid move here. And you can see on the weekly chart, we are starting to approach being overbought. But I want to also see the last time here, we got a little bit of this breakout, right? You can see here, we also reached overbought right around here, right? So looking at the price action there, we did get like this big jump up that took us into the overbought territory. And once we hit overbought, we were flatlining there. During this flatline, we pushed the rest of the way up to here, almost like another halfway. Like if I do the measurement here, if we consider this spike to here where we first became overbought as that first breakout, then so from here to here is the first one, and then from while we were entirely overbought would be from here up to here, and then we kind of flatlined. That's kind of what I'm expecting now too. So we've reached a kind of overbought territory. Yeah, that kind of like opens us up to a little more price volatility, but I'm also expecting it to kind of like finish the push, and then we would see a similar thing where maybe like we got a pretty aggressive push up here, and then maybe we get a little bit of a smaller grind with the final push to the target. And so that's kind of like in the coming weeks, a little smaller grind, final push to the target, and then this kind of flatline action that we got. So that'll give us, play out the entire cup and handle breakout, and then kind of give us a similar trend that we can, notice in the past too. So despite the fact that our strength index is on the overbought side of things, I'm not entirely sure that we're about to, reverse this price action yet. And we're pretty much just watching for our cup and handle targets to hit. Once they hit, it's time to look at other, it's time to look at like what the next pattern is. Where do we go from there? Well, he says, I made a horrible entry today, breaking 95K. I don't know. We're only halfway through the breakout. So if you're just buying spot and holding, I don't think you're in a terrible boat just yet. I think you probably have a chance to sell again for likely slightly above 100,000. It looks like our target peaks up at about 118. So I'd say between 110 and 120 is pretty reasonable to expect like resistance to form. Although it's a bull market, it's price discovery. There is no resistance levels yet, so we'll only find those once we actually do get a pullback, and then we'll know where it is, you know. So but right now we're just kind of in uncharted territory, literally. But we do have our guides here to show us, you know, when do we expect a breakout, when do we expect it to get more aggressive. And we did get, like we had been talking about, you know, once we break out of the handle, then we expect it to take off. And that's totally what happened. You see how we broke out of the handle, and we confirmed the breakout by basically pulling back and bouncing off of our band here, our strength band, and, you know, also kind of like the top of the handle pattern. If we bounce there, that kind of confirmed the breakout. And then once we got that confirmation, you can see the last 3 weeks here are all creating this nice up push. So I'm not sure that you're going to be too upset about having bought at 94 today with the expectation that we're moving up to 95. We still absolutely might. It's like I said, bull market is going to be more volatile because we're in uncharted territory, and everybody's like looking for where does it top out. And so people, basically the idea is that when we're hitting an all-time high, everybody who's ever bought, you know, spot is in profit. So there's incentive for literally every Bitcoin holder to sell because at that point you're making profit. And then so once we do start seeing, you know, the price start to look like we're topping out with indicators such as, you know, our RSI is heavy, or, you know, we start making like a candle, the next week candle that isn't making a new high, then maybe people are going to, you know, rush to sell really quick, capture some profits. And then so you can get a lot of that like short-term volatility that we see in bull markets. You know, so don't be too paper hands on the way up. You know, if you did buy recently, I'd say like buy with the conviction that you can hold on to it, even if you do see it drop like 20 or even 30%. Because even right now, looking at this weekly chart, if we drop back down to where our like strength band support is, which would be like around, you know, here-ish, that's you know, a 24% drop. That's pretty devastating for someone who just bought, but at the same time still keeps us north of the strength band on the weekly chart, still is very much on the bullish end of the pattern here. So looking at that, I think Bitcoin is going to continue to lead the charge here as far as the crypto market breaking out and turning more bullish. And then my assumption is once we do reach the end of this bullish breakout, we will see Bitcoin slow down its trend upwards, not necessarily stop. Like, I mean, even here you saw when we got to that, like, you know, breakout, and then we look at how much the SRSI is pulling back here compared to the price isn't really dumping. You know, the price was just kind of flat, and then it continued pushing up much, much higher again. We might see something like this, you know, as well. So like we might get the push up to here, a move sideways, and then we push up again and push into like, you know, God knows what, maybe 200,000 or something absurd, like some people are predicting. I'm just not ready to make a prediction beyond $115,000 just because the technical analysis that I'm following isn't supporting anything higher than that yet. And once we hit that target, it'll be, you know, we'll need to see what the next trend is building before we can actually be like, okay, here's the next target. I'm not so sure that I put too much stock into some of the people, you know, calling for like $1 million of Bitcoin or even higher valuations of that. It might happen, you know, especially considering global fiscal policy, like global finance, printing more and more money, you know, basically inflation running kind of more and more rampant. And then you have hard assets like these Bitcoin tokens that can't be printed. There can't be a, you know, oh, we're issuing another 10 million Bitcoins. That's never going to happen. So there is only the 21 million that will ever exist. That has been the set limit of them since day one. The inflation rate for this currency is known and expected since day one. There is not going to be any of these kind of like reckless fiscal events that can, you know, like COVID tripling the financials, like the money supply. Those types of things just can't happen. And when those things are happening in the fiat currency system, fiat currency being paper money that isn't backed by physical assets, so like, you know, dollars, euros, that kind of stuff, when they do start printing those assets, it makes the value of hard assets much, much more valuable. So I mean, even looking at stuff like gold, you know, gold is definitely also on its way up here. If we go look at like golds would be, let's go to all and look at gold per ounce. Yeah, similarly, gold has been flying, you know, and it flies up as more and more money is printed into existence. And that's, you know, I mean, I remember I bought my gold. I have some gold coins that I bought like years ago, and they were like $1,700, $1,800 back in like, yeah, back here actually. So I bought them back in like 2012 or 2013 when Bitcoin was kind of like blew up in my face for the first time. I was like, oh, I want to, you know, redistribute into like hard assets that aren't, you know, crypto. At this time, also crypto was a little bit more under the radar, a little less of the powerhouse that it is currently. I mean, there was no, you know, sovereign governments or nation states using Bitcoin as their treasury backing like there currently is, like El Salvador, or you have you know, huge Fortune 500 companies like MicroStrategies buying Bitcoin in bulk and boosting their treasury funds with that. So all that stuff wasn't really happening back then. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I want some gold. At this point, I would have been better off holding the Bitcoin, obviously. I mean, you can see this was 2012. And, you know, it went from 17 to like 27. And obviously in the same kind of trajectory if we're looking at 2012. Yeah, I would have been better off holding Bitcoin. But either way, the point remains that hard assets do well when paper and fiat backed assets, you know, are effectively printed out into existence. In the last two FOMC meetings that were happening, the Federal Reserve has, you know, lowered the interest rates, which is, you know, making cash cheaper, making the interest to borrow cash from central banking less expensive, which means there's more money again pushing into circulation and driving this kind of like, you know, I mean, helps to drive industry up. But that's also why you see the stock market, like let's jump to the SPY. That's why you see the stock market doesn't tank, even though like, you know, yeah, like, yeah, basically it's why you see the stock market keeps running. The QQQ is the NASDAQ index. Similarly, like we've gotten a couple bear prints on the indicator, but we never flipped to red except for the actual bear market, you know? And so similarly, really, really solid cooking on all the kind of hard assets compared to paper money assets. Let me see what's this here. I've been waiting for the move to alts. I don't know why I got stupid today and bought Bitcoin on the high. Honestly,
this could be a good transition to talking about Bitcoin dominance, and we haven't really seen Bitcoin dominance lose dominance. It's still growing in dominance. So moving into alts right now might not have actually been the best idea.
I think
like
that's a
Bitcoin
better move.
Yeah,
I think you made a better move by moving into Bitcoin instead of alts right now. And like I was trying to say, the move that I'm personally following is I'm most exposed to ETH and Bitcoin at the moment, and I'm waiting for this to actually play out. Once I hit our target for this, then I'll be more interested in shifting some of my Bitcoin holdings into altcoins. So at this point, I would actually say you probably had the better move, even if you feel like you jumped the gun or something. I think it's a better move to focus on Bitcoin while Bitcoin is the one running, because looking at like alt markets, they're not running like Bitcoin's running. And if you look even at like Ethereum, like this is Ethereum USD, but if we look at like Ethereum in terms of Bitcoin, like BTC, Ethereum and Bitcoin on Binance, for example, that's what Ethereum looks like right now in terms of Bitcoin, you know? So it's like, oh, if I had bought Bitcoin or like Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, you're buying into this downtrend. This hasn't made a floor yet. This hasn't like broken out and signaled to us that, you know, ETH is starting to come back in terms of Bitcoin. In fact, this is actually making a low price in terms of Bitcoin that we really haven't seen since like 2021, you know, like here. And so basically Bitcoin keeps pushing up. Ethereum is still pushing down, and Ethereum is kind of my the way that Bitcoin is kind of like my metric for the entire crypto market. The Ethereum market is more or less my metric for the altcoin market. And again, I'm not so sure that was a bad move to buy the Bitcoins today, especially if you want exposure to the crypto market. Bitcoin is the part of the crypto market where the hype and the like value is currently pumping into. I mean, you know, absurd meme coin lottery aside. But yeah, so you can see like in terms of Bitcoin, most altcoins are going to be making actually relatively lower lows compared to Bitcoin as Bitcoin pumps. And that's what Lewis is talking about too when it comes to Bitcoin dominance. See,
I think the main takeaway that Max is saying is you just have to have a little patience. Like you might lose money short term, but if you don't need that money, like in the next couple of weeks, like just be okay with holding it for a bit, and then it should, if everything goes according to Max's TA, which I got put up the banner, not financial advice, but the target that he and Sid are estimating is like somewhere between 110 and 120K, which should be much more than the 95K you bought at. So there's still lots of room up from where you bought, but don't necessarily know how long it's going to chop around before it goes there. So it could be a minute, it could be a month, it could be several months. We don't know. So as long as you don't need the money immediately, you might have made a good move, but only time will tell.
And here you're kind of seeing also, this is what we're, this is kind of like the BTC.D chart, or this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. So this is showing us in terms of percentage, this is 100% at the top here. So it'll never go above this, and 0% is down here. But this is basically showing us how much percent of all the money in the crypto market is currently in Bitcoin versus every other crypto. And so you can see, the dominance there has been trending up since, December 2020. 2022. So it's been trending up pretty much the entire time that we've seen Bitcoin trending up. And basically what that's suggesting to us is BTC.D. What that's suggesting is that, again, Bitcoin is gaining value quicker than the rest of the markets. And that also generally is painting a picture of the rest of the altcoin markets are selling into Bitcoin as Bitcoin pushes up. So again, chilling on your Bitcoin investment might be the best play, considering the trend is showing you're buying into the trend versus betting on the trend reversing before it's signaling a reversal. So again, not the worst idea, I think. And so we have here, we're at 61% dominance now. And you can see last time that also happened, if we're looking at like 2018, all the way up to 2019 to 2020, we had this huge rise up in Bitcoin dominance, all the way from 40% back up to like 71%. Once we hit this 71%, Bitcoin did start to sell back off in terms of like not dollars, but in terms of dominance. So the value in the crypto market stopped focusing more or less exclusively on Bitcoin and started distributing back down. And this is essentially what I'm looking for as well, like a push to 110, 120 that continues seeing the dominance climb. And once we get to like a dominance probably similarly high, probably not all the way to 70, 71 like we did last time, but I could expect it to hit maybe like 68, maybe even 70, who knows. But I'm expecting it to continue to climb there as the value kind of continues to consolidate from the broader crypto space into Bitcoin on the way up. And then once Bitcoin hits its targets of this bull market, and you get basically traders taking profits, it's much more likely that traders will take profits into altcoins, not necessarily directly back into cash, especially if cash is looking less and less attractive with inflation rates or money being printed like it's printed on paper. Paper is not as valuable as something like a finite currency here. And then so you can see once we do get that dominance tripped out, we will have a chance to see on the dominance chart, it will signal to us kind of like it did here, okay, we're starting to lose momentum, lose steam, and then hopefully we'll get that flip to the red like we got here, and that'll be our kind of signal that the altcoin market, the alt season is starting.
All right, let's do another Grubfish, and then after this, let's get into maybe Ethereum and Wax charts.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do tonight, so we gotta.
Let's keep it cooking. Schedule. So here we go. I'm cooking back into a giveaway. It was open
one after this.
Yeah,
so chance to enter.
Yeah, because I didn't do a last call. That was my bad. But Yamster's decked out in all green. I shouldn't have said his name though, because now it's coming from him. Whoo! It almost got you. maybe if I say everyone else's name, it's more even. But no, we're gonna see if we can get. We're gonna see if we can get the broadcaster curse to break. Yamster for the win. Take it to the house. It's because I'm voting for you because you have a super decked out grub.
Veerman's got a green trail.
Yeah, Veerman's got and a back. He's got a backpack too, though. Oh, Yamster's doing pretty good for having been called out early on in this. Oh, I shouldn't have said it. I felt it right when I was saying it.
Whoops, and Veerman. Sorry, Veerman, I got you.
It's going to be the Nakeds. So I say Cone Dog for the win. Oh my God.
Rid Sevilla.
Well, that's my bad.
It's lucky nobody said his name.
That's 2 for 2 though, dude. You're fucking. It's rigged. He won the last one too.
All right.
2 million already. Let me go to play again.
All right. Okay. Exclamation point Neon if you want to join.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if everyone in here. We are in the general crypto part of Twitch. So if you happen to not know the Wax blockchain, we are giving away Woof, which is a meme token on the Wax blockchain. If you don't have a wallet, we can help you sign up for one. We have some codes for free wallets, so they usually cost like 5 or 10 Wax to start a new wallet, which is kind of annoying to source. But you will not have to source that if we give you a code. So let us know if you want to sign up and you win. We'll help you sign up for a wallet. It's free. The meme token's maybe worth like $1. It's not worth a lot, but it's fun.
Yeah, you'll be able to also bridge it from Wax to like Base or Solana or Ton chain. So there is, if you're not so keen on like trading on Wax or it's a new chain that you're not familiar with, claim your prize anyway, and then trade it over to a chain that you do kind of fuck with.
It's also a good entry. After this next giveaway, we're going to show off DeFi positions and DeFi opportunities on the Wax blockchain. And if you are new to crypto, it's a very good place to learn because you can use $1 and do a bunch of complex strategies. And if you mess up, you're not losing a ton. Whereas you can do all these strategies on Ethereum and layer 2 chains, but the mistakes are a lot more expensive. So
that's true.
It's a good place to learn at the very
least. The gas fees that you pay to broadcast transactions are basically covered by staking assets on the Wax blockchain. So it's very similar to how EOS works, if you're familiar with that. So Wax is actually a fork of the EOS.io.
I feel like EOS is not well known these days.
No, it's really not. It used to be, but either way, so it's like it's a different blockchain infrastructure compared to like the EVM. If you're familiar with the Ethereum and the Ethereum layer 2 ecosystem, it's different from that.
Do you want to run the Scrubfish as
the second one?
Yeah, last call, exclamation point Neon if you want to join, and your Wax wallet. But again, if you don't have a Wax wallet and you win, happy to help you set it up. Although I think the codes are on my computer, so I don't know. We'll still figure it out. I can send you Wax for my personal wallet, but our free sign up codes are, or Max can just turn on my computer and log in. That would work too. But
yeah,
that's also shout out to Alcy. Alcy sent them to us.
Oh, sweet. I think she's
Alcy, she's like Wax ambassador stuff, but she's kind of stopped doing that. She's like, they sent me a bunch of codes to onboard people, but I stopped trying to. So if you guys want them, you can have them. So
sweet.
Quadrell said he can help as well. Quadrell has them. So
nice. And so he's probably near his computer. So if you do win and you are unfamiliar, we can get something going for you.
All right, let's launch this giveaway.
All right, last chance here. 5 seconds more. Exclamation mark Neon. Oh, you did. Okay, you're right. You missed it. We're grubbing, and
we'll do another one after this, but this is for all the
look at that, 2 pink trails. Oh, shouldn't be calling them out.
Immediately died. That was us though, so that's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's my grub. That's my loadout.
Oh man, I feel like maybe the other pink trail has a target on his back now because he's been lumped in with the broadcaster curse. Oh yeah, oh totally. Yep, that's not bad.
The broadcaster curse is
it's very real.
More so than usual. Okay, Rid died, so that's good. We get
okay. So at least we got someone else. Oh man. Only you know what? I'm not even gonna comment on the grubs right now. I'll just say this: lots of nakeds, lots of naked grubs, lots of nudies. Oh man, the nudes are like not being cursed though.
Oh,
Oh, dangerous.
no one's been dying for a couple.
Well,
Another
not too bad.
non-lethal
Oh
action.
man. It's,
That's about to start coming real fast.
there we go. The Nakeds just took a hard hit.
1v1. No,
Let's
Buzz King.
go. It was totally the broadcaster curse because I was like, let me not mention the backpack. I'll mention the Nakeds, and all of the Nakeds died.
Congrats, Buzz King.
There we go. Buzz King for the win. Let me
You can
grab
put that woof in that backpack. Carry it around.
Copy that over. We'll go here. I guess should I launch one more in the background while we do our DeFi here?
Sure.
Let's do that. Let me also post this.
We end up later tonight. I'm going over to my cousin's to do some music stuff.
Woof. There we go.
But I think he has like a real person job where he has to be up at like 8 a.m. so he can't stay up super late.
I see. Well, oh look, here's Pinguino Rodriguez.
Pinguino.
Hi, baby.
Jean-Pierre Pinguino Rodriguez, the full name.
Oh yeah, baby. He loves to lay like a little goon like this.
Is that on your chair? What is that?
Yeah, it's like on the top of my chair, which like the top of that chair is like super thin. He's here. He's just spilling over the side.
Oh, I miss the
cute.
animals when I'm here. We did have a cat visit. We had Kevin, we call him, came and ate some ham the other day.
Yeah, he's still coming by.
It's very transactional this time though. He ran in, we gave him ham, and then he left. He's like, "Thanks for the ham. I'm fucking."
Oh wow, Pinguino. Pinguino is always a little lover. They love to sleep in my bed now that like since there's no one up late at night anymore when we go to bed, so they come to bed with us. It's cute.
You got a full ass bed of Mercy.
Yeah. Two cats and a dog and two big dudes. It's a fun time. And then in the mornings, they'll like come like lay on my face and stuff and start purring right into my ear just because you know that it's like they're hungry. Right around 10 o'clock, it's like it's feeding time. But yeah, let's look at the charts really quick. So we did kind of we looked at Bitcoin. We're expecting Bitcoin to do its run up to kind of play out its thing before it starts to redistribute down. And then now we're looking at, this is the chart for Ethereum. The whole time I've been looking to, by the way, I'm on the weekly chart here. So each one of these candles represents 7 days of time. The weekly chart tends to work best with like my indicators, for example, and it also tends to like, have the least amount of fake outs. So when we're trying to generalize longer term trends, looking at the longer term time frame is kind of the move. Oh, Pinguino, you can't be doing this. Okay, I had to get rid of Pinguino. But looking at Ethereum, so we haven't really gotten the same. We're not making new all-time highs yet. Even in this bull market in general, like if we look at Bitcoin before it even, when we first got to the top of our cup and handle pattern, that was already a first time we hit an all-time high with Bitcoin. And that was, like months ago already at this point, like at the beginning of or April or whatever in 2024. So yeah, almost a year ago, we hit an all-time high above the previous all-time high. That hasn't happened for Ethereum yet. The previous all-time high is sitting close to 5,000, 48, it looks like 4850. And so this last time we got there, we're also, similarly, we have a bit of a cup. It's not quite as clear as the textbook cup and handle pattern we really clearly got on Bitcoin, but we do have a bit of that kind of action going too. We still haven't really gotten the breakout of where we would have our handle pattern here. So, if we did the same thing of like marking out, the handle here, we would basically still kind of are basically looking for that, breakout to then signal the push into the bull cycle for Ethereum. Again, I think that we'll much more readily see that happening once Bitcoin finishes running its course. So right now, still looking pretty solid. We have, similarly, our strength index is approaching overbought on the weekly. That doesn't mean, I think, we can flatline. It doesn't mean we're done running up. We're also finally north of the strength band again, which is exactly where I want to see support. So as long as Bitcoin or ETH stays over like $3,000 in the coming week, that is still very much on the bullish end of this spectrum. We kind of want to see a bounce happen there. And then I had drawn out this kind of like bull market trajectory line, also like half a year ago at this point now. But what we've been seeing during the bull market is like, we've been toying with being under and above it, most recently under. And what we're really looking for, and you can kind of even see here when we did get a big push in ETH recently up to like 3,500 almost, it only was able to maintain the wick above that trend line. So we still really want to see kind of a bounce around 3,000 and then a push and hold above 33 to kind of like, push us into the next leg up here. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But right now, again, I think the strategy is more or less focusing on Bitcoin. Looking at Wax as well. Wax, we've been saying for weeks now, what we need to see is a push and a close above 4 cents. And we can actually get a little closer for this one. So you can actually, here, I guess I'll leave that on. The purple line here is kind of like our 4 cents mark, which is basically the floor price of our bear market. You can see we found support there often and had been basically ranging between that 4 cent mark and the 10 cent mark for years, literally like 2 years. And only recently had we actually fallen below that and, entered the like price discovery in the opposite direction. Where we fell below, where we expect support to exist and, pushed all the way down to like 2.5 cents, which basically, we were like, this looks like a buying opportunity, but we also don't know for sure that it's not going to fall lower. So what we really need to see is, higher highs, higher lows. Looking at the weekly chart, you can definitely see we are getting some higher highs here now. And what we were looking for is, if we go to the daily chart, what we were looking for last week was here we were last week where we touched the top, remember, and we started to pull back. And what I was saying last week when we looked at this chart is what we want to see is a pullback that stays above the daily band. So we want to make sure we stay above basically 3.3 cents. And we did. So basically we did form our higher low here and pushed and then formed a higher high again. So again, confirming this kind of like turnaround, especially on the daily chart already. And, even then we have the SRSI starting to make a little bit of a, it's basically in the middle of its range. So we definitely have room to go either up or down from here. But, if we want to go down, we want to see it now hold above, 3.5 or 3.7 or something cents, again, making a higher high so that the next push can decidedly keep us above the 4 cents. Once we've done that, we'll be back into the old range where we know the resistance levels will be next one will be a 5, next one at 6, 7, 7.5, and then all the way back up to 10. And Pinguino, what did I just say?
Pinguino wants the attention.
He's a little sweetie. I play with them with their string quite often, and that kind of chills them out a bit. They just need a little, haven't done that today, so he's a little excitable. But yeah.
Give me that string.
Yeah, he's like, play with me. Don't ignore me. But yeah, on Wax, we are getting, recently, we're especially on the daily chart, we can see we did have a bit of a pullback here, but then we got a higher high. This is a higher high than the previous highs. And then the low on the retrace is a higher low. And then again, higher high. Okay, you can chill here, but quit coming in front of my camera. So yeah, looking good for Wax to hopefully kind of like turn this trend around. Pinguino, what did I say? He's doing his thing. Hey. No.
You fucking with all your wires now? He likes to do that in my room. Just spat at all my wires.
It's he's got like 2 more times of doing that before I grab him by the back of his neck and take him outside and close my door. You hear that? 2 more times. I think he's chilling a little bit now.
Inadequate Mass says the kitty's looking to invest in some catnip for a higher high.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Catnip's going up.
He's chasing the higher highs.
Catnip to the moon.
But yeah, so here's the weekly chart too, and you can see on the weekly chart, this is still kind of not fully breaking out of the last like peak here. Although we have gotten higher highs than these highs, we also haven't really gotten a lower low just yet. And this could still be considered kind of like a range. So it's still kind of moving flat. That's exactly why we want to see a decided push above 4 cents. And then if we can push, like above 4.6 or something, that'll really kind of, light the flame of bull sentiment into the Wax token again. Personally, I moved a decent amount of my like liquidity from being Wax and USDC exposed into just Wax exposure. and I guess with that in mind, let's look at what we do with our liquidity pools. So I'm going to jump over to Alcor.exchange for anyone who's unfamiliar with exchanges and stuff on Wax. This is the biggest exchange on the Wax blockchain by volume. If we go to analytics, you can kind of get a sense of here's the overall Wax market analytics, and so you can see that. Well, when it loads, you can see that here, this big purple chunk is Alcor. So you can see this is the swap.alcor. So this is the Alcor, the liquidity pool swapping. And then the next big one is going to be Taco Swap, followed by Box, which is DeFi Box, who has, I think, on their bigger presence on EOS, but they also have a presence on Wax. But you can see the vast majority of the trade volume on the Wax blockchain is facilitated by swap.alcor, which is the wallet that basically the router address for the swap wallet, for the swaps, which if you come here, this might look familiar to you. You can swap, let's say 1 USDC, and you can get for that some Wax on the flip side. So then we can get 24.88 Wax for 1 USDC right now. So $1 gets you about $1 worth of Wax. And then, of course, that scales. So this will be 240, and so on. This is very similar to what you would expect on like an EVM chain, like a Uniswap clone, effectively. This also has, under trades, there's also a spot market here where you can actually place limit orders. Each spot exchange, each currency has its own like spot pair. So like here's Wax USDC, and then you actually have like a live order book. Where you can set your limit orders, and you can see what limit orders are currently set and where the basically the resistance is. And you can see here on the order book, there's orders at like 4.4 cents, and then there's nothing until 7.8 and 8 cents. So you can see there's quite a big gap in sell orders for Wax. So again, similar to what I'm saying now, if we can decidedly push over 4.6, then we have room to get kind of push to the next level up, which shows us here in terms of liquidity, waiting to sell is around 8 cents. So we can get a pretty aggressive pump as soon as we get confirmation that the trend is reversing. So let's take a look at what we want to do. I'm going to log into a wallet that we made specifically on stream. We started this kind of series by first making a wallet and then funding that wallet with $10, which at the time was about 100 Wax. And then using that 100 Wax to participate in the liquidity. Buskin says, did you see the Wombat mods made meme coins? I did not. What were the meme coins called? I'm a fan of people making stuff on Wax, even if it is nonsense. But, just know what meme coins are always just, for fun, shits and giggles. But if we come up here and go to the pools, this is what we've basically put our liquidity into. Right now, it looks like we're only staking this one. So let's actually check why that is. If I go to farms, it's just not updated correctly. And liquid stake Wax. This is one we did last week with, I think, like 20 Wax or something. Let's see how that's done. So last week, what we did was we came up here to the farms. We claimed all of the rewards. So right now, these farms are earning these APRs. You can see, like, for example, the pool here, Rook LS Wax. If I click on this detail, I can see I'm earning every day 47 Rook and like half of a liquid stake Wax. And then since last week, when we claimed this, you can see I've earned, 3.2 liquid stake Wax, 327 Rook. In our Neon pool, I've earned 27,000 Wolf tokens. And then in this one here that we just entered last week as well, we've earned 1,200 Yeet tokens, which again, I think we started with like 20-ish Wax. And I think we're actually doing pretty well. Let's take a look. I'm going to jump over to Wax on Edge now. Wax on Edge is here. I'll go over to the drop page. Wax on Edge is a router, an ecosystem integrated router. So basically, versus jumping over to Alcor and using the swap here, which will then be, looking at all the different swap routes. For example, like that example trade I did where we do $10 into a Wax. You can take a look how it sources that liquidity will be down here. So if I click this little button and then click the plus on the multi-route, you can see it's taking USDC or Wax USDC, which is the Wax wrapped USDC token. So it's actually USDC native coins on Solana blockchain bridged over to Wax, which you can bridge back to Solana at a 1-to-1 rate. But you can see 100% of the pool is going through this 0.3% pool, which is on Alcor. If instead I do the exact same thing over here, I'm going to connect my wallet to Wax on Edge, and then go to the swap tab up here. Instead of it looking just on Alcor, here I can actually have it, look across every all of the basically liquidity pools. So if I go USDC, and now we do 10 USDC here, it'll find the best route, which currently is the exact same route, USDC into Wax on Alcor V2. So that's the same thing we did before. But if I were to like crank this up to like 1,000 or something, it'll now actually split my route, between all of these different pools. All this stuff is still on Alcor, so this would probably be the same deal that you would get on the Alcor exchange, but it can also include routes that travel through TacoSwap, Nefty Blocks Exchange, which doesn't actually have a front end as far as I'm aware of, DeFi Box, Alcor's spot market. So it doesn't just look at the swap pools, it also will look at the the limit orders that are waiting in the spot market. So it can actually fill from all of those things in a single transaction, which is really great, which is why we generally want to use an aggregator instead of a single DEX. That's also true on every other blockchain. Anyway, let's see what we want to do this week, though. So looking at our farms, here's what we have cooking right now. And here's the trajectory, or the, I guess, runway that those farms all have. We only check on this once a week, so we want to make sure we have at least 7 days left of liquidity runway, and we do. So all of these pools still have deep runways left to go, and we're still earning, substantial APRs for pretty much everything that we're participating in. I'm not really worried about like any of these. I like these positions. Rook, LS Wax is solid. The only thing I notice here, we don't have staked our other positions. So I'm going to click up here and stake all positions. You can see that there's a little orange 1 up there. So it was showing us that we actually have an unstaked position that we could be staking to earn some yield. So by doing that, I will get, if I refresh now, I should have a 5th farm position show up here, which will be my LS Wax LSW pool, which it'll show up eventually once the front end here kind of like loads what it needs to. Oh, actually, no, what happened was it looks like it staked the unstaked position of the Yeet LS Wax pool that we still have. So if I go to pools, let's see, which pools are we sitting in? I thought we had a pretty sizable position in that LS Wax LSW pool as well. And for some reason, the Alcor is just kind of being slow pokery. So generally, it's a little faster than this. But of course, it's that whole thing of like, yeah, Alcor's a bit buggy these days. I noticed that too earlier today. I was having a little bit of a, like, showing me that I have no positions, but I definitely do. It's also nice that for that reason to have something like Wax on Edge that can do the same trade routes without having to like wait for all this stuff to load, which is kind of great. I think in the future, there may even be a way to manage your liquidity positions. So you could enter and exit liquidity pools through this front end instead of having to go through the Alcor front end. And so when Alcor's API is having an issue like it currently is, there would be other alternatives for messing with this stuff. With that said, though, I guess I'm just gonna go back to the farms and let's just claim our rewards for this week. So if I click here, claim all rewards, this should give me the liquidity that, or basically all the yield that I've earned all week long. So now if I click down here, yeah, I should now have, there you go. See, it just went to 0. You can see it's starting to trickle back in, but all of those tokens just got claimed into my wallet. I'm going to jump right back over to pools. See, yeah. So here's what we wanted to see. We have also this LS Wax LSW pool, and it's out of range. So we should actually adjust this. So let's do that too today. So it looks like basically what we did with this is I guess I'll just do it live here versus like talking about it and then doing it. So in order to rebalance this pool, so basically what this is, both of these tokens are liquid staked wax, which I can pull up right here. If you go to earn and staking, it's basically staking your wax and then getting a credit token that represents the staked wax and automatically compounds the staked rewards into that token. So rather than you having to submit your block producer votes on a weekly basis to maintain, an 8 or 6 or whatever percent APY on your wax stake, this does all that for you. You can literally just sit on the LS wax and you'll earn roughly 8% APR, which in terms of wax. So the LS wax token becomes worth, more. So like if I do 10 wax, you can see it's only giving me 9.5 LS wax for this. And as time goes on, this amount of wax will be worth less and less. And when you then go to unstake, it's the opposite around, where now if I unstake 10, then I could get 10.5. And this is if I'm unstaking and actually waiting the days to unstake, so 3 to 6 days for this one to unwrap, versus the swapping where I'm getting a slightly worse deal because I'm paying the liquidity sourcing fees for doing this type of a trade. But anyway, so that's what those tokens are. So when we look at this pool, LS Wax, LSW, both of them are liquid stake derivatives. So they're both basically wax plus wax staking yields baked into them. So we have this one. The reason we didn't see it in our farms is because it's out of range and you can't stake out of range liquidity. There's no rewards for not being in range. And so what we're going to do is start by removing this liquidity, and we're going to rebalance this to be a better kind of fit for our pool. So we saw already that that LSW is at around 8% APR, and this is where the liquid stake derivative for LS Wax comes from. And so if we look at LS Wax and go to liquid staking here, we can see that this one's printing at 9.5% APR, so it's actually outpacing the LSW pool, and that's why we ended up 100% in LSW versus still being in range. It's because as LS Wax climbs in value of wax faster than LSW, our liquidity pool sells out of LS Wax into LSW to maintain basically to maintain a 1-to-1 ratio of liquidity within the pool itself. And then since we're using similar to Uniswap V3 liquidity structure, which is concentrated liquidity, we've set a range and that range fell out. So now we're going to go and basically reset that. And I'd like to bias for LS Wax because LS Wax has a higher APR than LSW. And so when I create this pool again, I don't want to go 50-50. I'll probably go like 75-25. And I'll show you what I mean by just doing it, because it might be a little bit confusing just talking about it without the visual representation of doing it. So this, you can see here, this is what the price is of LS Wax in terms of LSW. You can see it's trending upwards as the LS Wax APR has been outpacing LSW's APR consistently. The reason for that is also that LSW only compounds staking rewards, whereas LS Wax compound staking rewards as well as CPU rental costs and other you can read about it if you come to their site. It's waxfusion.io and then click on the docs. You can read about how if you go to revenue distributions, you can read about, so it's making it's distributing the rewards this way and it's funding them through these different things. So you can read about how it generates revenues beyond simply staking. But because of that higher APR, we definitely want to also, bias ourselves appropriately. And so let's start by doing that. I'm going to go ahead and use 75% of the LSW we have to buy LS Wax. So you can see I'm going to go from 181. It only gets me 176. But they are both worth $7.66, basically 6.6. I'm losing maybe 1 cent here, 1.5 cents. In the swap fees, which is totally acceptable. So I'm going to go ahead and say swap and then make this trade. Again, I'm using Wax on Edge just so that I can get the best trade route across the entire, liquidity pools across the entire blockchain versus like being limited to a single exchange. And now that I've made that swap, I'm going to come back up here, click new position because I can't re-add to the existing one I had, liquid staked Wax and LS Wax. I want to go with the 0.3 pool. That's the one that's being incentivized. And I don't want to go infinite range. I want to go much tighter. So I'm going to start by clicking 5 plus minus 5%, but that's still way wider than I want to be. I want to tighten my range because basically both these tokens, like I said, are effectively wax. So there's not a whole lot of volatility that should affect them because they're both denominated in the same currency. So I'm going to go pretty tight here. The tighter I go, the more of my liquidity stays in range and the more of my liquidity is earning fees, not from the rewards, but from the trading volume happening against this pool. So by now clicking my 180, I want to make sure I set this now in a way that generates the best returns for me. So I'm going to basically adjust this until I get my 180 counterparted with as close to 60 as I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this side a little bit further. That might be a little much. That might be as much as I can though. So I'll leave that there and then I'll maybe expand this side slightly. And so now I'm getting close. I can do a plus on that. Not pretty close. So I think this will have to do. This is only about 7 wax away from being basically all of the liquidity we have. So we'll add that now. So adding this to the pool creates a whole new pool. Just adding it also will automatically stake it if there is a stake reward to be staked to. So now if I go to farms, we should actually see it already here. So I'm going to be earning this 5% APR paid directly in LS Wax for being in this pool, as well as if we go to pools, the fees here, the fees that are going to be accumulating from actual trade volume. And you can see with even such a small amount of liquidity, so this is like about 8, there's about $10 worth of liquidity total. Even with just this $10, I am almost 0.5% of the entire liquidity pool, and that's because of my target range. It's not that the pool is so shallow that $10 represents 0.5%. It's that $10 targeted at such a tight range around the current spot price represents 10% of in-range liquidity. And so you can actually kind of see, with this little range that's outlined here is where my range currently is. The blue shaded part is where the majority of the current liquidity
that also means
range yield lives.
If it moves past your range in one direction, you'll end up 100% in one token.
Exactly.
So you maybe don't want to do that on a position that's like US dollar / crypto if you're expecting crypto to go up, and then you'll sell out of all of your crypto. So this is good because both sides are basically wax. So either way you end up with wax, but super tight liquidity might not be something you want to do with the more volatile token, or something where you don't want to end up all on one side. If you're fine having 100% on either side, tight ranges are cool, but just be aware that even though it does earn you a higher percentage of the fees, there are risks and things that might happen that you don't want to happen.
And to that point too, you'll also notice with the rest of our pools, you can see this one here has the range set that we just set, so it's very tight, but the rest of them are from 0 to infinity. So I'm actually not trying to target any of these pools because none of those are stable or correlated to each other, whereas LS Wax and LSW are correlated assets. Both of them are wax plus wax staking yield. There isn't whereas Rook and LS Wax, Rook doesn't necessarily move with LS Wax, and therefore I'm not trying to guess what direction to bias my range. And again, the vast majority of why I'm in these pools isn't because of the trade volume, which, like, if I go to Rook and Wax and take a look at the actual pool, it's doing not an insane amount of volume, like $40 in a week against a pool of 75,000. So by even if I did target it, that's not going to be worth basically potentially falling out of range for when the farm itself is paying me close to 100% in APR, and I want to stay in range to earn this APR. This APR is paid for the full range, and so again, I'm happy to keep full range on all these other tokens because the return from those positions comes much more from the rewards being paid to those positions versus from the what is that called? From the yield earned from trading volume.
Do you want to look at these new meme coins?
Yeah, let's see. What was the name? Let's pull some of them up.
Buzz King also asked, how did you choose between 0.1 and 0.3? Just whichever one the farm is incentivized for, generally. And then if there is no farm, I would say go to whichever one has more liquidity because that's where all of the volume is going to be routed through.
Yeah, so I can actually show that again. So if you're going to earn on farms here, you can see here Ellis Wax, and it says right here 0.3. So this is the pool that's getting paid rewards. So if we go to unstaked, for example, it'll tell you which one you need to add to. So like for this one here, Wax and Strong, you need to add to the 1% pool if you want to earn this APR. If you add to the 0.3%, you won't be eligible for these rewards. So the rewards themselves are specifically to the percentage pools, and those percentages are displayed on the farm page here. So that, and it helps that when I actually click create farm, it like 100% of everybody was participating in the 0.31. So obviously that was the one to choose, but it's always a good idea to check which pool is like which range is being incentivized before you actually create your liquidity position. Let's see. Wax, and let's try one of these pools. What was it? I'll have to look it up again.
I have it on the screen.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Bull WHL. Let's look that one first.
It's BLU. It's probably Blue Whale, if I had to guess.
There it is. Oh, yeah. Blue Whale. We had a little bit of a jump already, and then a sell-off. So kind of the same trajectory we saw on like the Solana meme coins at the start of the stream. And then looking at what I also like for this type of stuff is like, yeah, meme coins are fun, but like, what are you doing for me? You know, so like looking here, let's see if there is a farm or something. BLU. So there is a farm, but it is not enough to be worth anything. It seems like either that or the Blue Whale token isn't understanding its value yet, and so it says it's 0%, even though it might be more than 0%. So that's kind of like something to keep an eye on, because this is, you know, this is paying out 142 per day, which if we look at what is
142,000 or 142?
142 total.
So
yeah,
wasn't
basically
there a K on the end of that, or no?
Okay, it is K. Yeah,
it's like, you're right. A lot more than 142.
There we go. 142,000 per day.
Still not a lot.
Still almost nothing. So I think that is accurate. It is 0%. So for the APR there, I'm not so like excited by this.
I'll check Wombi next. WOMBEE.
Let's see that one.
These are also, it sounds like, made by the admins of the Wombat server, meaning these are not people that work for Wombat. Like, they're not the developers of Wombat or in charge of anything at Wombat. They're Discord mods. So
okay,
that also doesn't, like, just because they work for Wombat doesn't mean they couldn't rug you or you should trust them 100%. Like, this is not a sponsored Wombat product if you trust Wombat as a company.
Wombi, I don't see any pools for, at least not on Alcor. There may be some on Taco Swap. So if we go to meal here and do, no, there's no rewards on this one at all.
So can you see the price of it?
Yeah, the token exists, and it has a very similar chart to the last one where we got a big pump and dump already happened.
Again, the last one's RODC.
Let's see the last one. I imagine the price is probably going to be very similar. RODC. Yeah, very similar again. So
like all three are exactly the same.
Yeah, so it's basically like, again, I'm not sure what their like token strategy is or whatever. Like I launched my own meme coin too. Anyone can do it. So you know, mine is FTW. If you want to mess with
you said FTW. So are these the Wombat mob tokens?
Yes.
Yeah, there's 3 different Wombat mobs. There's like red, blue, and yellow. So I think each one has its own token. I think they have something to do. Let me read up. Somebody's saying they have something to do with the game that you can maybe use them for already. Let me see if I can read that.
Here's what my token looks like. It's a little less depressing. But I also, you know, like what I do with mine is I take the yield that I earn on my yield farming wallet and I buy back my own token. Here we go.
It says each of them seem to be usable for each of their Wombatiums, according to Pika Pika Pika. I don't know what that sentence means, to be honest. But it sounds like it does something with, I'm guessing, the mining digging game, but
yeah,
that's my inference, but I don't really know.
So
there's
my meme coin has nothing to do with anything.
Post that in our Discord. I can't click this link. Wombat said they plan to have drops and blends using these tokens. Okay.
Okay, fun.
I mean, they already have their own token. I don't know why they're adding 3 more tokens to their game
Right.
stuff. It's gonna just devalue their token. But
I mean,
Murphy 420 is asking if you can look at the Creeps token, CREEPZ.
I
Also,
can.
is that a Charizard Funko? That's pretty dope.
Creeps.gm. Hey, oh, this one's got nice.
Total side note, but Rock Metal is asking if anybody be interested in playing a casual Pokemon Pocket tournament. So if you're interested in Pokemon Pocket, maybe you want to do a tournament, I think she said it'd be like 2 weeks long, and you play like everybody. Like you play everybody on the list, and then I guess whoever wins the most wins. I don't know how the tournament would work, but if you're interested in Pokemon Pocket, consider joining our Discord and reacting to the message.
Creeps also actually has. So Creeps has actually a decent APR too. That it's being
from. Do you have a Murphy 420? Is this for like a game or something, or
Creeps.gm? I like the little picture of like, I don't know what that is. It looks like a sloth or something.
I farm it from rare Rug Ape NFTs. Okay, so maybe it's a rare Rug Ape adjacent token.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
he's already got his rug token though. Is he doing multiple tokens? What's Peter Potts doing?
Yeah, like I feel like again, it's like anyone can make any token and do whatever they want with it, which is kind of fun. I mean, that's not just on Wax; that's everywhere. You know, like all these tokens, anyone can make, anyone can mess around with.
Deep stall.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I also put the link in our private chat if you want to look at the.
Rugs has a ton of tokens. I also like with my when I made like the FTW token, I gave like I think 1 million of it to the DAO treasury for what is it, Wax Ape Rave Club, because they had a DAO, and I feel like if other treasuries were out there, I would fucking drop tokens in them just for shits. But again, that's like anyone can do whatever the fuck they want, and like the reason that most of these tokens trend down is because a lot of people will put tokens out there with economic principles that are not sustainable. Like 214% APR is pretty attractive, but how well does that maintain my value if the price chart is doing this? We're down 62% from here.
I feel like you can just say the guy launching its collection is called Rug Apes, claiming he's going to rug pull you. So I feel like that's about all you need to know. That it's also tongue in cheek, but it's also like
it's tongue in cheek.
Don't invest any real money in that. It's all for fun. Like it could all be worth zero.
I would say the same thing of even my own token, where it's like if I look at FTW, like I just made it because I have the FTW wallet, so you can see look it's Murphy FTW token by FTW
stake
wallet.
The creeps for Woofy. So maybe the creeps token buys a creep NFT, and then that NFT you can stake for Woofy.
That's pretty fun. Pixel Journey got a DAO too. Oh, I might have to give them some. That was something I liked. I like to give my FTW token. I like to just give it out to people who are building on Wax and active with it.
I think Pika is the person who created PXJ and the Pixel stuff.
Oh, nice.
I think they came in one time when we were saying they might rug pull, and they're like, "I'm not going to rug pull," and it's like, okay, you're here to defend yourself, so we'll take your word for it for now.
Yeah, but I mean, like you can see, like the way I've built mine, I launched it pretty much for nothing. It's currently sitting at like 30x launch price, and you can farm it. Like it also farms for like I think at this point it's like 100% maybe. Yeah, 100% across these different pools. And like again, 100% APR on a token where the chart looks like this is way more valuable than a 200% on a token where the chart is trending down. But again, don't buy into my nonsense. It's also just nonsense. The reason it trends up like this is because I have a liquidity pool wallet where I have like maybe $3,500 worth of like liquidity, and I do the same kind of stuff that I'm showing off here, where I'm farming where I'm farming these types of pools, and then every couple of days I'll harvest what I'm making in these claim rewards, and I'll use that to buy back my own token. The price doesn't go up on its own. It goes up because I'm buying it back, and I'm buying it back because I like to do this as an experiment. And if you want exposure to, I guess, my yield farming wallet's liquidity yield, you can buy FTW tokens. but you don't. It's just a bullshit meme coin. And also 50% of the total supply is still sitting in the founding wallet. You know, I don't plan to like distribute that until it's been a year, and even then, it'll all be like done in a way that doesn't tank the value of my stuff. I also understand tokenomics probably better than a lot of people who are just creating nonsense. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just tooting my own horn a little bit, but I understand at least like the economic principles that keep a token from collapsing into shit. And so I at least avoid that. But yeah, I mean, when you're buying any meme token, you know, if it's made by me, if it's made by anybody else, it's always a gamble. It's always, you're playing like, yeah, you're gambling, which is fine, gamble, but don't just don't like misunderstand it as investing. I think, you know, like it is, you're taking a flyer and you're playing games. And again, like I said, I own the wallet that creates that token. I can change the token contract, mint a million new tokens, and then we can have something like you know, like what happened with Dark Matter, where it's like, yeah, that pool had thousands of dollars in it, but the owner of the token minted a fuck ton of more of them and just stole all the liquidity, which, you know, I mean, them's the breaks. We know the risks. So, you know, if you are going to mess with any of this stuff, just know the risks. But yeah, before we get too off topic, I've already claimed the rewards we've been cooking on this week. What I want to do with them is maybe let's take a look at how has our we did a Yeet, what was it, Yeet and LS Wax pool. So let's see, how is Yeet
can we do a giveaway?
Yeah,
going for a while.
This is 1 hour. I just want to see the daily chart here since last week. Yeah, not terrible actually. Just kind of flat is fine if we're earning a bunch of APR. But yeah, let's do another giveaway. Group Fish. Last call here. If you want to do !neon in the chat, we'll do another million woof if for the winner makes somebody a millionaire. Who wants to be a millionaire? You're just trying to rug our friends. Exactly. That's also a big part of like, if I made a token in a space where first of all, I'm not anonymous, and I have people in this space who like, I care about their experience. So I'm doing everything to avoid people losing money by fucking with my currency. But at the end of the day, you know, one person bought 10% of my token supply in the first week of launching it. I can't control what they do with it or when they dump it. And if they dump it, it's going to take the price down a little bit with it, you know? So just be aware. Meme tokens are risky. Always. All right. I'm going to launch this bad boy. Let's see. Oh, you just made it, Rock Metal. Split between nudies and non-nudies. Let's see. I won't call out any of these grubs by name. That's always been a death curse. I'm secretly rooting for one of them. Oh my god, and he died already. I was rooting for the pink trail. Let's see. All right, let's see if Buzz King can survive. No, wait, you already did. Nah.
Calls your own name there.
Ticket punched. Let's see. Oh, he's flying. Oh, that actually worked out. Oh, no, it didn't. I did think about saying it.
Until it didn't.
I mean, the thinking about it also fucked over the pink trail, where it's like I'm watching one of them and died immediately. Let's go. Backpack win. Master Raise. Master Raise. GG. Let me find your wallet here. PS.
Montreal says someone duct tape Max's mouth shut during grubs.
Let's see. Woof. Boom. Okay. After this stream, I will also go and actually.
It also looks like BuzzKing just posted in our Discord. If you collect the Dogzilla Wolf collection, they have some sort of a gladiator. Barcus Maximus.
That's fun. Just in time for the Gladiator 2 movie coming out, I think, this weekend.
Are you also going to do a Wicked one?
Oh, you should. I went to go see the Broadway play, so I definitely want to see the movie. I'm a little pissed that they're splitting it into two. It seems fucking stupid. Oh, there is a Wicked one already.
Oh, we missed it.
Nice. I'll have to get that one. To get the Galenda corgi. And I forget the name of the Wicked Witch. They all have really weird names, like something with an
Glinda
A.
or something?
Galinda is the like good witch, but the Wicked one is like something with an A, like I don't know. She has a weird name. And then her
Agatha?
friend. Yeah, that could be it. But I don't think it's Agatha. It's something like that. Agatha is from Agatha all along. But maybe it is Agatha. Who knows?
I can look it up. Elphaba.
There it is. Yeah, Alpha. It's some weird shit. Like I told you.
Elphaba, Glinda, Nessarose, Bach.
Yeah,
BOQ.
Strange names.
He's the Munchkin Land farmer.
But yeah, let's finish what we wanted to do here. So we're still in these pools. Looking at the Yeet one, this has been kind of like our high yield, high risk, high reward pool. And I kind of liked what we were doing with this, where we're taking the APR like earnings from the week and then compounding them into this pool. Let's do that for one more week and see how it goes for us, right? So I'm gonna go back to Wax on Edge, and I'm gonna try to like basically swap like half of what we have into LS Wax and the other half into Yeet. So we already have 27 cents of LS Wax, and we already have 6 cents of Yeet. So what I really need is now to get to 27 cents in LS in Yeet here. So I'll swap our Rook rewards. We'll swap those. And then I'll swap, what's next? Our Woof tokens. We're in some Woof. I think these ones came from the Neon Wax pool. We'll swap those into Yeet as well. And then let's see how close are we to having equal values of both. We now have 24 cents in Yeet and 27, which is actually kind of perfect. If I just take the last of this like hit token, the rest of them are worth less than a penny, so we won't even fuck with that until next week. But for now, we definitely were able to swap over a good chunk of, our rewards from this past week of farming. And now we can come back over to Alcor. We'll jump over to the pools tab and then click on this guy and say increase liquidity, and then see how close are we. Yeah, so we have 5,900 Yeet and it needs 5,800-ish. So we'll be perfectly able to cover that. We'll add to this pool. And now moving into next week, we'll see here, this updates in a second. When the API is faster, this actually goes a lot quicker than it currently is. But either way, if we go, here, let's hit refresh, maybe give it a little bit of a help. Maybe. Yeah, so there it is. So now we have 16 liquid stake wax in here against 14,000 Yeet tokens. So this is now a grand total of about, 32 liquid staked wax bilaterally, because this is 0 to infinity, so both sides of this pool are even. You can see they're both worth about 70 cents. 69. And so we have 32. Let's take a look at what that's worth. LS wax. And this came at 100% just from rewards over the last 2 weeks, which is great. So now in just the last 2 weeks, we've made about 32, which is about 33 and a half wax. So $1.30, which again, starting with only 100 wax on this wallet, in 2 weeks, we made about 30% of our total starting capital just in rewards. So the idea is to illustrate how possible it is, to participate in these types of strategies by doing such moves once a week. Not constantly adjusting this. I'm only adjusting these positions when we're live on streams. And when I miss a week, we just don't fuck with it. So the idea is to show that you can participate in this stuff relatively passively and, still come up without, even trading NFTs or anything, just by participating in these type of liquidity farms. And, for now, this is kind of going well. So it's nice to see let's see how this holds up. Again, I think this is a very high risk token pool, so we'll see if we want to continue to compound into this next week. Compounding into the high risk pools is really risky, because while it is looking like it's going well now, a big drop in Yeet tokens definitely hits hard for our position here. And it looks like there is Woof Yeet paying 883% APR too. So this is significantly more. We could split a little bit into this. Although let's do that one next week. So let's see how this one. So this one has a full year worth of runway. We can take a look and see how this one holds up. But if you are out there looking for high APR tokens, clearly Woof has some pretty solid farms. I saw also the NFT V token with Woof paired on Taco Swap had a pretty high APR there last week. But Yeet has a lot of different liquidity pairs. I think they even made one for my FTW pool, which was kind of nice of them. So actually, yeah, here FTW Yeet. So I actually matched what they had put in with my own. So they did 150,000. So I matched that with 1.5 million. And I see that they've actually added a couple more. So I'm probably going to top this off even higher, just to kind of return the favor. This is a pool I started. And to be fair, I'm probably like the main liquidity provider in this pool anyway, so I'm just paying the rewards to myself. But it does make it available to anyone who wants to participate. And it is kind of nice to see, like a liquidity pool infrastructure like this that moves across the entire blockchain like that. So you can see like Woof Yeet also is being incentivized by the Yeet token, which is really cool. Considering like Woof was also a token that it's made by BuzzKing and his project, so it's like definitely another community made token. And then this Yeet like meme coin is supporting that community by incentivizing pools that are consisting of assets that are being made by those communities.
Pika says Yeet updates the farms each Monday for the rest of the year.
Awesome.
Yeah, until 50% of the total supply is locked.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's pretty sweet. I mean, I do like when they do weird shit like that, but the whole point of Yeet is literally just to have fun and dick around. So again, I think, keep that in mind versus like looking at any of that stuff as like a long-term or like a investment strategy. I'm just like, I mean, I'm involved relatively heavily with the FTW stuff, but it's because I own it and I know what the distribution is because I'm the one doing it. So it's a much more sure thing for me that I know I'm not going to get rug pulled because I'd have to be the one to rug pull it. Beyond that, I don't know that about literally any of the other tokens out there. And while I like BuzzKing, I don't think he's going to rug pull us either. But I don't control the token the way that I control my own token. And I mean, Woof there is a FTW Woof pool that I made just to like again support the community, but it's also not incentivized. It's just for me. If that's true, Yamster could rug pull the FTW tokens if I give him the keys. So it doesn't have to be me. So if I do want to rug the community, I can pawn that dirty pawn the dirty work off over to Yamster, who's offering to do it for me. So that's kind of nice of him. But yeah, with all that said and done here, I think we've claimed all our rewards. And just as a quick recap, we've rebalanced our LS Wax LSW pool so that we're basically, like you can see now we're at 180 and 53. I wonder if there's already been any trades happening against the pool since we rebalanced it. I'm going to refresh it here and see. And you can see generally here, anytime a trade happens, I'll start getting some fees earned for it. There hasn't been anything yet. So
do you want to click the link I posted in the private chat?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Oh, I see two links. The first one
or the second one? It's the same thing. The second one's a picture of the first one.
Okay, let's see. The first one, copy. So
it's not going to show up on the first one unless you do a... Yeah, that's fine. Maybe zoom in, control,
there it is. I see.
Zoom. Yeah,
so those are the mob tokens.
I believe that's what you can buy with the tokens. I think you buy that with the tokens, and then that works in the game. That's what I'm guessing. I could be wrong there, but I don't think the tokens work directly in the game. I think the NFTs work in the game, and the tokens buy you the NFTs.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they have some
If
kind
you're
of
into
like
the Wombat game, you might be more interested. But if you're not playing the Wombat digging game, like you're just gambling on liquidity stuff.
yeah. So there you have it. There is a little bit of a utility function behind some of those Wombat tokens there, but again, it's it's for fun, I think. So if you have some wax or some like assets you want to have some fun and like roll the dice on some nonsense with, I think this is a fun way to go for it. But in general, like what I'm looking to, and I guess is also reflected by our wallet here, if we're looking at where the vast majority of our liquidity lies, it's in LS Wax and Wax, which is basically wax exposure, and then we are pretty deep into the Rook LS Wax pool, and a big part of that is because of how deep that pool is to begin with. This is a $75,000 pool. The creator of that pool has come into the chat a few times to talk about, and then he also puts his own, like, he's the one putting up all that liquidity, so he puts a pretty solid vote of confidence into his own assets by being the one putting up all the counterpart liquidity. That also means he's the one that could pull all that liquidity at a moment's notice. So again, be aware that there is a much higher risk factor to this, but with those two pools being our main squeeze here, you can also see we're willing to accept this risk factor because, again, the creator is known in the community and has put his money where his mouth is effectively, and also this one is paying us 100% APR compared to 5%. So we're willing to kind of like, participate in those types of riskier exposures to up the upside of our yield generating. But again, with my own wallets too, I'm most heavily biased into the LS Wax pool, waiting to see Wax break out and push beyond that 4.5 cent kind of barrier. And then when that does happen, I want to see wax exposure in my wallet, and I would expect, similarly to how we're seeing the Bitcoin dominance charts, as Bitcoin climbs, a bunch of altcoins are selling into Bitcoin. I would say if we see a massive pump in wax price, you'll probably see a good amount of people like selling their meme coin nonsense back into wax to try to ride that pump, which maybe will redistribute once the pump ends. But again, I'm trying to position myself for that type of price action before the pump really takes off. And I've done effectively the same thing with this wallet too, where you can see we have like 200 something wax or so worth, more than that, 250-ish wax in this pool, and then close to 300 wax in this pool. And again, with all that said, Rook isn't like printing off into oblivion like a lot of the other tokenomics stuff out there is. And even though the APR for the pool is relatively high, it has to do with also the amount of liquidity that's being staked to that pool. So you can see I'm only staking, what is this, like 300-ish wax, and you can see I almost own 1% of the pool. So there's maybe, like 30,000 wax or something in a pool like that, which isn't even close to the like million wax that's in this pool as the counterpart liquidity. And then you can see here's like 72,000 of the $75,000 is directly supplied by the project wallet. So
Quadrille is saying he's sending us a DM. Are you DMing Max or are you DMing me?
Space. Let me check if I have a DM.
So I do not see a DM, but
I don't either.
To you, but still typing. Okay, well, I check my DMs pretty regularly, so I will look at it when you send it to me. Do we want to start wrapping this up? Maybe
that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over. So let's go back to the Grubfish last call here. If you want to do !neon in the chat, let's do 1 more million on the Wolf token giveaway, and then call this a stream. We went over the Bitcoin price today. We looked at the altcoin markets, the Bitcoin dominance, and kind of like the trajectory that price action is taking and what we're more or less expecting in the coming weeks, maybe even months. I do think that, especially like retail, I know everyone always says like, oh, retail investors aren't like really, it's like we are retail investors. If you're, so we are the retail crowd. We are actually already a little bit into this stuff. But there's definitely, the family kind of holidays coming up, with like Thanksgiving being a big one, and like last bull cycle post Thanksgiving, you definitely got a little bit of a spike, which maybe that'll be the catalyst that pushes us to the rest of the way to our bull target for Bitcoin. by which I mean, people who are into crypto going home for the holiday and then shilling it to their family. So
got that word of mouth shilling.
Yeah, I mean, that generally is the most effective way to get people who aren't into this stuff into it. And overwhelmingly, we're just going to continue following the chart action, which is showing us a place where we should kind of expect to start taking profits again around 120,000. Honestly, the 100,000 mark is definitely a psychological barrier. Like once you cross 6 figures, I imagine we'll see some more mainstream media reporting on the breakout in Bitcoin. I really haven't seen a whole lot of that yet, despite Bitcoin making new all-time high week over week for the last month already. But either way, let's follow the charts and not the news. We can always find good news on a good day and bad news on a bad day. That doesn't mean the correlation is causational. And let's not get too technical. But either way, we went then and took a look at the wax markets. We claimed our rewards, and we basically just compounded what we've been earning into the Yeet wax pool, which is a meme coin that's kind of like relatively. Here, if we go here to analytics and statistics and look at Yeet, you can see that it is also becoming like a top 12 token right now on Wax. So it's one of the bigger, yes, there's a shit ton of meme coins, but even my own token is at 76. So Yeet definitely has a lot more liquidity backing behind it. You can see here Yeet with a $4,000 worth of TVL in its pools. Not even close to as much as what some of the big players like Taco, Nefty, more established stuff have. You can see 27, 30,000. And then of course Woof with its 90,000, 50,000 for USDC, 40,000 for TLM from Alien Worlds. So again, it's a relatively small supply cap, although it kind of rivals Brawl at the moment with 4,500. Either way, it doesn't take a whole lot of liquidity to make it to the top 10 on Wax. Wax is kind of a.
I feel like just always have to be cautious. I don't think it's publicly known who the founder of Yeet is.
Yeah,
and it's pretty easy to.
Exactly.
We saw with that other token, I already forgot what it's called, but the one that had
Dark
only
Matter.
one supply, somebody just minted a shit ton more. We don't know that they won't adjust the contract. They say 50% is locked in rewards, but that's 50% of the current supply. They could change the max supply and mint 10 times more and then dump it on you.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Just be careful.
Same with how FTW has a max supply of 1 billion tokens. I could just change that to 100 billion tokens and then just sell all of those into the market and steal everybody's money. That's what happened with Dark Matter. That's a non-zero chance of that happening, at least until the ownership of the token contracts are renounced, which generally they're not. And so
I haven't looked into Yeet to know if they have or have not done that, but just be careful. Just because something's hype right now doesn't mean there isn't still risk. So
exactly,
try not to overextend yourself into the opportunities that are sometimes look too good to be true, are too good to be true. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I feel like keeping a decent amount of liquidity exposed to just Wax is a better idea than trying to ape all into something super high yield, because again, high rewards comes with high risk, and you need to be able to stomach the risk, and you definitely can't if you're 100% invested into something.
Yeet also eventually is going to be for profile pictures, I think, was the long-term uses. Once all the tokens are minted, then they're going to do PFP sales that burn the tokens, and eventually that's the use case for it. Although now the debt value is definitely coming from liquidity pool rewards, not because people are so hyped on profile pictures they don't know that exist yet.
Yeah, and then Neon PFP, Paul and I were working on that, and I think Q1 of next year is kind of the move, which should also be the peak hype for when what's it called?
We're waiting until Wax reaches over 10 cents so we can get more money from people. Just kidding.
No, but it'll also be the NFT markets. I think are going to get a big boost in people are going to be more into NFTs again. You can see the uptick is already starting, but in end of December, I think OpenSea is relaunching their whole contract stuff. That should give a nice spotlight onto NFTs again. And also like the main reality is, Q1 2025 Yamster. Ouch.
We're waiting until EXP hits $1, like Ashiki said it would. Once EXP hits $1, you on profile picture launches.
Yeah, go bother him about that, and then once it happens, no, we're definitely like trying to get that into the home stretch and finishing that off. But yeah, the idea is like once we get that out, we'll actually raise some funds, get into like some physical things, and be able to like do some more fun things that aren't just like waiting for us to finish this fucking thing.
I am the kid. I put a pre-mint pool on Shopify, and I'll buy it first.
Oh, there you go.
That's our goal is, or not our goal, but our plan is if we don't sell enough of the profile picture to manufacture the physicals we want to do, we're probably going to end up doing like a Kickstarter. That's kind of the backup plan. We're trying to do a Kickstarter that is an NFT Kickstarter where you get the NFTs instead of promising a product later. But if that doesn't work, we'll do an old-fashioned Kickstarter, or if you kickstart it, then you will get first dibs on the physical stuff we create.
It'll be nice to have some I can also add some, like, again, I have my FTW token. I want to do like some giveaways to people who do participate in that. We have like a WOOF treasury that we want to also help to incentivize people who participate in our PFPs should be rewarded for sticking around and like dealing with our fucking crazy delays.
I feel like we always make the mistake of
we shouldn't
lifetime or whatever. I'm not gonna say it's gonna lifetime airdrops, but we will at least do several airdrops of stuff in our giveaway wallet. And I think one of the ones we are gonna give away is a Ludi. We have one of the Ludi packs, which are
unopened Ludi packs.
Pretty desirable. And we were talking about Shiki Hirata. He drew a thing that was like trying to convince people that one EXP would be $1, but and then he drew this stupid graph of like how it would work to transfer to Solana, and it just looked like nonsense, and it's kind of a joke.
It was like on a bar napkin. It was pretty good. Classic bar napkin white paper.
I'll be streaming again tomorrow, so if anybody wants to hang out on our stream tomorrow, we'll do more giveaways. Tomorrow's our off the rails, so we'll be playing weird videos. Consider joining our Discord. We will post when we go live in Discord. Also, if you want us to react to any videos, post them in the Off the Rails channel of our Discord. Assuming there's no nudity, very gratuitous violence, or anything that breaks the terms of Twitch, we're happy to watch any video post in there. And I kind of want to watch the one about I haven't actually watched one of the kid who did like the rug pull worth 30K, so that'd be fun to watch tomorrow.
Definitely. And then his community, like Spike, bought the coin after he rugged.
I also think
oh yeah, Buzz King, go. Let's see if Buzz King's gonna win this one. I got my eye on him. Wait, did he already die? No, right? Oh no, there he is. Brown backpack, top left.
Quadrille says, I remember till today when I told him you cannot do that many drops, people will get annoyed and will stop your project. His answer is, I can't do less drops. What's going to sponsor my lifestyle? I get thanks to them. That sounds like an Ashiki. Oof. I was told that he has gambling problems, and he was like lost almost all the money he made on wax projects and sports gambling. Don't know if that's true. He was a good poker player. He won we used to do creator poker.
Yeah.
And kind of funny enough, I think all of the winners of that ended up rugging their projects.
Yeah, there's a correlation between good poker playing and damn, Buzz King is like by the seat of your pants. You're not getting killed. Even though I called him right away.
Dan from damn it. What was the fucking name of that thing? I'm already forgetting it. Dan from the 3D multiverse game also won.
Oh, Immersus,
yeah. Dan from Immersus won, and he gave up on his project. Ashiki from Wax Arena won. I can't remember if we had a third winner. Those were pretty fun. We were doing like 8 to 10 person all wax creators. I think it's more of like if you throw a dart at 10 wax projects, 9 of them rugged, then like we were necessarily promoting shitheads.
Yeah, I agree. But
do you still have your mythic Wax Arena gear? Probably. I think Max might have. I had legendary stuff, but
let's see.
A lot of those projects they rug, like people list all their stuff. I usually don't bother. I just like my wallet becomes a graveyard of that stuff.
There it is.
Max has one listed.
My mint 1. It's listed for. What is it listed for? 11,000 wax. Probably not gonna happen. Let's see here. Your purchase price. Oh, baby, $188. Get fucked.
That one didn't pan out very well.
Fucked hard. Yeah, well, that's what you get for participating in nonsense. I mean, this was also when I was printing money hand over fucking fist, but
yeah, we also,
changed the fact that it's $188.
We made the mistake of trying to get in because we didn't know how to develop games and couldn't develop games. We wanted to get utility for NFTs by partnering with all the games that we're allowing, and like none of those panned out if we're being real. Like pretty much all the games we partnered with or attempted to partner with ended up screwing us and our communities over. So that was a mistake, and that's why. Yep. I mean, I guess you see us occasionally. Like we partnered sort of with the Wombat, but also like we were always like, go play Wombat for free. Don't go buy a bunch of their shit. Like
look at this guy.
We have a very different way of partnering with people now. And now we're not like, go buy their drops. It's like, I don't know, like if this is sustainable, but we do have access to this if you want to do it. Or like Meta Battler, like, hey, this is free to play. You can go win NFTs. So like go play Meta Battler with their cards. You don't have to buy anything unless you want to.
Yeah. Suggested price 13 wax. Your purchase price 2,980 wax at a time when that was worth $320. Yeah, I mean, I made some pretty shit moves. I feel like also, let's see if I go to Coin Pirates.
Coin Pirates was rough. Literally, almost every game was rough. Green Rabbit did real bad on Wax Arena. Graffiti King stuff screwed me super hard.
I had it's probably on my FTW wallet. Oh, hello, Pinguino.
We can't start getting into the salt territory now. I gotta wrap this stream. But
yeah. Let's.
We have all the uplift and Yoshi drop stuff. Like
it was. We paid tuition for these lessons. I will say.
Also, shout out to KY. He's been crushing the DraftKings Counter-Strike Fantasy. My dad and I were in the thing you got in first place last night. I was like, damn. Nice. You and I had very similar lineups. We had one person different. You put in ZTR and I put in Blitz, and I should have stacked Game Release instead of trying to pick a guy from the other team.
Yeah, I definitely I made my mistakes in this space. I feel like we all did. So I'm just like our what's that Buy the Dip song. It's like, it's like I just lost lots of money, but I'm with you.
Have you been watching any of the Counter-Strike? The RMRs are happening.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. I haven't been watching it.
The new one starts tonight.
Ooh.
European RMRB, and then after European RMRB, the actual major starts. The major starting.
We gotta do more fantasy for the major.
Yeah. For the actual major, we'll be doing Neon Space Fantasy League, which I usually pay out. Woof. I think I might have forgotten to do the last one, that KY one. I'll have to go back and check our wallet and see what I've sent and what I haven't. But assuming I remember.
The mistakes don't stop. I still make mistakes too, and I think the best thing we can hope for is we learn from the mistakes. And like I said a second ago, tuition isn't cheap. You're like, the only thing you can hope to do is learn from it, so that way you don't make the same mistakes again. I've made less mistakes over the years, so we'll see how it goes next bull market here. Once the actual, like I said, I think once the crypto markets start to top and that redistribution starts happening, then we'll also see money flooding into alt stuff like NFTs again. So we'll see. There'll be opportunity to make shit tons of mistakes again. So hopefully we can help you guys avoid some of that. But until then, thanks for joining us
tomorrow for some fun off the rails stuff. I put there's some good cat videos. I got some good not cat videos. Oops, I just shared the wrong screen. Fail. I meant to share buying the dips. This also might sound like ass and not work because my internet's garbage, but
buying the dip.
We'll find out.
Your boy Max just lost
tomorrow.
Lots of money.
I'm excited for Off the Rails. Got some stuff. I think Max, you'll have to play the videos because mine sucks. But
yeah, I'll have to
excited
see.
For that. I don't know what we'll do Friday. I like Jackbox games. I'd be down to do some more Jackbox game giveaways if anyone wants to join that.
All right.
That was a good one last week. Or we could try some of the new Nova Rally. There's a new Nova Rally update, I believe. So that could be fun.
Sweet.
Except shit. You might have to hit up Sammy. You need a code to be able to install Nova Rally.
I have it on Steam already, so I think I got that code wrong. Oh, maybe it's still the old one then. Yeah, we'll see. I'll check it out.
We'll figure that out. But
thanks for joining us.
Buying the dip. I'll see you tomorrow. Hit us up in Discord if you want to chat in between now and then.
man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay. I am with you, Oh man, your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Oh, but that's okay. I am with you. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
First of all of this whining by Wall Street is making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. Short. You can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of its stock, crush these companies into the dirt, thousands of stocks into the dirt. Then when the individual makes money, everyone's entrepreneurs. I have a kid who bought a house, paid $50,000 and bought a house. After decades of the short, you have to accept the fact that individual investors are playing the same game that you're playing, and now you're losing.
Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening? Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it, find the dip. Here we go, come on, push it. Oh my God, what's happening?
There's a lot of power in organizations online. Too many people can get together in a subreddit. I think it's really funny that the GameStop stock is going up. And
peace out, everybody. We'll see you later.
There's 20,000 people live in a Discord who are spamming rocket emojis, yelling, "Go to the moon."
See you on the moon.